Well, this is one of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. We're on the west coast of Scotland in gorgeous Ayrshire, and the setting for the 152nd Open Championship here at Royal Troon. And look at the first, the seal, and moving on to the postage stamp. Well, one of the most iconic holes in golf, ranging this week from 123 to 99 yards. There's the clubhouse in the 18th, a true test of golf.
Linksland, the canvas on which our game was first drawn. Puss older than us all, steeped in heritage. It is timeless. Golfer against nature. A gust, a bounce, a downpour can dictate the challenges that await. One must not fight the elements, but instead show the character to embrace them. Those who can, just may, take the greatest walk in golf. The Open, forged by nature.
Oh, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what does. This man gives me goosebumps. Rich Beam, straight from the Scottish Open.
That scares me that I give you goosebumps.
Because your commentary's so dramatic and wonderful, Rich.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I just call it as I see it.
Oh, it's marvellous. But the story last week, coming straight from the Scottish, I know you need a little bit of time to rest, but we're not going to give it to you.
No.
It was a brilliant storyline with Bob McIntyre winning his home Open. You were right there at the end?
I was, yeah. What he did by taking advantage of that outstanding break at 16, and this comes off the heels of actually a great birdie at 14, which he really needed.
Amazing.
And then all of a sudden gets that great break on 16 and takes advantage of it, because there's times where you get a good break, but you don't necessarily take advantage of it, and he went bolting through that door. And then to finish it off in style, just like he did last year at the 72nd hole, only to be pipped by Rory, to actually get the job done, get the win. And I loved the celebration of what he had to say. Listen, we're going to pitch up into Troon when we pitch up. We're going to party and we're going to go hard and strong. I'm like, dude, you get the right attitude about that win. That was incredible.
Amazing. So many people actually speaking around the compound and around the range are so emotional with that victory. It's just absolutely sensational, and what a talent. And you know what he's been through this year, winning in over the other side of the pond.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic story.
Absolutely. And I think also it comes on the heels of him being real open and honest with the media, saying that, coming over to America is a little bit of a lonely journey. And I've heard that multiple times from multiple players coming over from Europe. And it's not the easiest transition. And just like when I came in 2012 from U.S. to play over here, I enjoyed every moment of it. But it's a little bit of a different and can be a lonely existence. But to see him break through the Canadian Open with his dad in the bag, we thought that story was going to be one of the stories of the year. But then to follow that up on the heels of that and to birdie the 72nd hole at a tournament that he wanted to win more than anybody. Yeah, see, there's where your goosebumps come up. See, there you go.
Goosebumps. Can you see, Kev?
See, there you go.
Just about. Yeah, just to prove the moment. So this week you are here at the Open, one of the greatest settings here at Royal Troon. I know you've played this course many, many times with one of our great friends, Ken. You're playing with him tomorrow. It dates back to 1878. It got the Royal Seal of Approval in 1978. It's a true test of links, isn't it? I've got a little map actually from 1890 when the yardage, Beamer, was slightly different. If we can have a look in, 5,656 yards. This year it's playing slightly differently, but what a beautiful little sketching of this map from 1890.
I like that yardage, though. That's a yardage. That's good for me. At 56, what does it say, 50?
5.6.
Yeah, I don't have my readers on. I'm kind of squinting right now and kind of trying to guess like I do when I go to the eye doctor's office. But this golf course is incredible.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's one of those layout. I actually was told earlier this week, or one of my colleagues, writer Doug Ferguson, said it's a short course going out, and a long course coming back in. And I hadn't heard of it that way, but yeah, I mean, because you're going out and it's usually playing down out of the right, pretty simple. It's a couple hundred yards already shorter on the front 9 than it is the back 9, and all of a sudden you turn on number 10, and you look at the tee shot and you go, ooh.
Oh, yes. That's exactly what Pete said
here
this
we
morning.
go. Exactly. And so you're just like, oh my goodness gracious. You know that going out, you've got to take it low on the front 9 because you come to the back 9, and it's just, you're just challenged hole after hole, shot after shot. And it just wears you out. It's easy going out, but tough coming back in.
Oh, just to clarify, the yardage this year is 7,385. So in comparison to 5,656 yards. Beamer, what's the difference? How quick is your maths? I know, it's really tough. It's about 1,800.
Yeah.
We're going to let you have a think about it. But we cannot wait to see the players that start on Thursday. 3 days of practice. And if we take a little wander down, actually, Rich, down the range, because you need to stretch your legs. You've just been in transit.
I need to move.
You need to move and do some,
Yes.
do some flexibility work. But it's a brilliant setting here. And we've just seen that before we came on air, Rory McIlroy walk on to the range, and everybody stops doing everything that they're doing, don't they? Looking very dapper. We'll get to see him in just a moment. But in Bay 25, how did he do last week?
I thought he did fantastic, coming off the heels of obviously a very disappointing finish at Pinehurst. And I like what he had to say in his press conferences. He was open, he was honest, he wasn't saying anything other than, listen, I didn't finish very well, I struggled, and it just, things got a little strange there for a few moments. And then, to take the time off and to go walk around the city of New York, and to kind of just soak all in of everything that was going on, and obviously taking lots of phone calls, family, friends, loved ones, you name it. I think that we saw an honest side of Rory for the first time, or not for the first time, but a more in-depth, honest look at him. And I think that's all we truly we know what kind of players all these guys are. We know who they are on the golf course. We know what their MO is. We know exactly what kind of players are. But outside the ropes and how you handle what goes on in here when you have to take it home with you. You married to a golfer, at one point, it's not easy. We're not easy creatures. We're not easy creatures. And for him to kind of, to have a reset on his own and to walk around and try and figure out, and be honest with himself, that kind of gave you insight, like, okay, he's a real human being, which he truly is. I just can't say enough great things about what I heard from him last week. It was refreshing. Yeah,
really, once a player sort of opens up a little bit, we find out so much more about them, don't we? He said the last 5 years he's not really had as much fun as he should have had. As a golfer, how difficult is it to have fun when you're trying to get results?
Well, I think that, sometimes we hear stories and you listen to some of the greats in the game, like Jack Nicklaus says, I can't remember, certain things, because once he accomplishes it, it gets put in the back burner, and rarely can you enjoy the successes, enjoy all that. Tiger, I would imagine, is the same way. He's won 82 times in the PGA Tour. He says, I only have trophies for the big majors. And it's like, but you had so many other great memories and great shots. How many times are you able to sit there and just smile and react and enjoy every one of them? And I think that's the one thing that, we don't do enough of at times, because it's such a joyless game at times. It doesn't give you a whole lot. So when you do have those moments where you're able to, and especially for Rory, as successful as he's been, to sit there and be like, man, that was fun. Let's rehash that a little bit. Now that's what it's about, because obviously I rehashed the PGA Championship quite a bit to folks who are asking. Some of the stuff I remember, some of the stuff I forget, but I mean, it's always enjoyable. And I think for him, being able to enjoy the moment a little bit more is going to pay off in dividends going forward. Yeah,
I hear it all the time in other sports. I hear it from those that have won a Rugby World Cup final or won the Ashes. Being able to enjoy success is actually a skill in itself and doesn't come easy.
That's why I'm interested to see how McIntyre comes out this week, because he said he seems to be in the moment, enjoying it. I am going to enjoy every moment of this victory, and I'll pitch up when I pitch up. Like his whole week, his whole outlook for this week has changed, as it should. And to be able to change that and be okay with that, be accepting of that. Now, that's the difficult part. Sometimes golfers don't do that, but I'd say it was just a great win last week. Great to see that happen, and I can't wait to see exactly what he brings this week, too.
Yeah, really great story with Bob. And as we look at Rory McIlroy, what do you make of his outfit, Rich? Looking very dapper.
I mean, doesn't he always look dapper?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
He's checking his numbers.
Wow, I mean...
Or sending a tweet to us, maybe.
Quit talking about me. Leave me alone.
Exactly. We are actually, no, he's going really into his phone, so he's looking at some element of his swing, which is what all the players are doing in preparation at this major. These 3 days... it's a chilled day Monday, gets slightly more stressful Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday arrives. The week goes so quickly, doesn't it?
It does. You don't have a whole lot of time. By the time you finished, putting out last night and then signed a scorecard, did the media work as well, and then made his way over here, and all of a sudden you find yourself on the driving range at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. Last week's gone. That is, it's in the rearview mirror. Now he's got to focus on this week going forward. He's got to figure out this golf course. Maybe work a couple of things on his swing, that he might have been working on last week and didn't quite produce the shots at the time that he wanted to. But right now, I mean, his swing looks really good. He's obviously very comfortable, and he's played this golf course a number of times. So just trying to figure it out and take a look and see what he needs to do to be successful this week, whether it's a small equipment change or just work on some sort of element of his game. Just kind of remains to be seen. But yeah, he's got to figure it out. I mean, it just doesn't. There's not much work there. It's just maintenance. Yeah, we've had a lot of questions actually via social media. At the Open is the Twitter address, the X address, #TheOpenRange. Do send them in. We're receiving some really good ones, and one from Alan who's just asked, "How do you think Rory's going to fare this week?" I've been asked the question, like, who's my favorite this week? And I really am having a hard time looking past, like, the top 4 players in the world, because all elements of their game seem to be so good right now. But then again, this is the Open.
Yeah.
We had, somebody that wasn't probably on anybody's radar last year, Brian Harmon, and he went out and absolutely dominated.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the beauty about links golf, about what the elements can produce with the winds and the rain and the funky bounces at times around here, and how you deal with all of that. And so you never quite know when it's somebody else's week, but it's really difficult to kind of look past the top 4 in the world and make a strong argument for some other players, even though they're all capable of it at any given moment in time. But with the way that these players are hitting the ball, their short game, their mental aspect, everything about their games is such at a high standard right now. It's kind of tough to just kind of look outside the box and pick somebody different. Yeah. Just a tennis analogy for you. I've been at Wimbledon for the last sort of 10 days. Poor you. It was awful, dreadful. Terrible. But Roger Federer has just done a pretty famous speech. I'm sure you might have heard some of it on social media. He said he only won 54% of his points that he played. Djokovic in his best year, 56%. Yeah. And those who are within the top 151%, if you drop off to 49%, you're in the top 600, 700. The margins are so tight, aren't they? That's exactly right. And that's why it's so difficult at times, in this game, especially because, everybody goes off of one tee, and it could be not a cloud in the sky at 6:35 in the morning when the first tee shot gets hit. And by the time they get done, it could be blowing 40 miles an hour. And it just, you never know what the elements are going to give you. So part of it at the Open Championship does have to do with a little bit of luck when it comes to the weather. Not always. In fact, I wouldn't say in just certain events there was some big advantages. But it's just like anybody at any given time, they can turn that percentage and just in their favor just a little bit. And that makes the difference of having an okay week to winning. Yeah. And that's the small margins of errors, these players, and we're trying to figure out week in and week out who we think is going to do well and why. But if you look at it just the raw numbers and the way that these guys are playing, boy, you'd be hard-pressed to look past top 4. Yeah. But unpredictable, the Open is unpredictable, which is what we are on the range. You never know where we're going to go. I do know now we're going to go to Henny in the Open Zone. She's with last year's champion golfer of the year.
I am so happy to be joined by 2 guests here in the Open Zone, Brian Harmon and the claret jug that he has had squirreled away in his home for the last 12 months. Brian, how has it felt to be Open champion?
It's been an incredible year. It's gone by really fast. I'm super happy to be back.
How has it been returning the jug, coming back here to the Open Championship? I know it's a different venue, of course, but a lot of similar surroundings.
It's got the same kind of feel to it. I love this golf tournament. I love traveling over here. I love the area. I love the fans. I'm so excited to be back and try and defend the best I can.
Let's take a reminder of 12 months ago at Royal Liverpool. What do you feel? What do you think when you see this footage?
Yeah, it's pretty emotional for me. It was a long week. It was really hard. It was, that weather was brutal the last day, and I think Saturday and Sunday were probably the 2 longest days of my entire life. So it was nice. It was a big relief to get it done and to do it in pretty good fashion.
Coming back 12 months later, has it given you cause to reflect on what that victory gave you?
Not a lot.
Okay.
I try and just keep looking forward. There will be a time when I will take a lot of time and reflect on it, but I'm just trying to get to the next golf tournament and play. Am I super proud of that? Of course I am. I'm very proud of that, but I'm looking forward to this year and everything coming in the way.
Well, before you get to that title defence, we have another challenge for you that we're just going to insert in there. It's the 1, 2, 3 postage stamp challenge. We have a postage stamp out on the range at 123 yards.
Right.
You'll have your 3 attempts in your 3 different categories of wedges, low irons, long irons.
Do I get to use a glove or do I have to?
No, you don't have to raw dog it. You can use a glove.
How far did you say it is?
It's 123.
123.
Which category are you going to?
We're going to go wedges
wedge?
first.
Okay, what have you got?
I've got a 50 degree.
Okay. And what is this, like a full out one, a little 3/4 action?
Well, if I go full out here, you might hear something pop on live television, so we're probably going to, if I get 1 chance of each or 3 of each?
1 chance of each.
Okay. And that sign's 124 yards.
Yes, 123 yards.
Okay.
And as it is Monday, if you were to hit it, you would have the honour of the first player to hit the postage
First
stamp.
player to hit
Just wanted
it.
to throw that out there.
I'm pretty confident that sign is really safe.
Oh, hello.
No way.
Okay.
Okay.
Not with attempt 1, but maybe attempt 2 and 3. It didn't feel
Right.
so safe when the ball was mid-flight.
Okay, what's our next option here?
Between 9-iron and 6-iron.
All right, I'm going to go 6-iron.
Okay. Do a little low.
Do you disagree with my?
No, I'm just curious. This is early on in the week, so I'm just getting a feel of what everyone's choosing and why.
Yeah, we're going to go low.
Okay.
That's nowhere close. Where's my next one?
5 upwards.
All right, we're gonna go,
3 wood, whatever you want.
We're going to go 5-iron.
Okay. That has been the popular choice.
Okay. Well, I thought you said I was the first.
Well, you would be the first to hit it.
Oh, so no one's hit it
with
yet.
this shot, Brian.
Okay.
This is the one.
Okay, here we go.
Oh.
There it
Oh.
is.
Come on.
Hammered.
Nice.
5-iron. Good call.
5-iron is the one. The postage
Good
stamp
call.
was not safe. Royal Troon might not be safe from our defending champion here this week. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Really what? Go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Beat Rufino, a 28-year-old drug broke.
Didn't belong. I knew I didn't belong.
It was unbelievable.
And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory. I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dreamino.
I'm playing for my life out here,
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
We are in the afternoon session, day one of the 152nd Open Championship. I am joined by Incy Mehmet. You have just come from a major, the ladies, Evian, amazing victory.
It was absolutely incredible. Slightly different climate here, I would say, this week to the south of France, but I'm not complaining because this really is one of the most special weeks of the calendar year, for sure.
Yeah, there is magic here. So there was magic there for that man. That is Jacob Skov-Olesen, and he is our current British amateur champion. And those earbuds, I think, hopefully, are going to be connecting him to us. Jacob, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Can.
Hey, Jacob. I'm Simon Holmes. I'm with Incy. Thank you so much for joining us. My first question is, if you look behind you, who do you see?
Yeah.
Who do you see? Who's that?
Rory
McIlroy. Now, I have a question for you. Are you nervous hitting balls? Have you ever been nervous hitting balls on a driving range before?
Not like this, no.
Amazing. Cool. Pretty cool is right.
It's quite a pinch me moment, isn't it?
Ah, the magic of the Open. Well, listen, I was watching your victory on a very, very rainy day in Ireland, Ballyliffin. Kind of take us through that afternoon. It was, you had a good sort of early start in the final, and then he kind of came back at you a little bit, Dominic. It was pretty scary for a moment there. You kind of handled it with a lot of variations of play. Do you think of sort of yourself being kind of a game suited to links?
It was. I was struggling a little bit on the end of the first 18, and then he came out really hot, but I counted it really good, played some of my best golf those first 6 holes. It's funny because before playing the AM there, I hadn't played links golf since the Irish AM in 2017, and I hadn't really done well on links. But I think maturing and becoming a better player really helped me that week with like how you have to shape your shots and play links and be more knowledgeable about how golf can be unfair when you especially when you're playing on links. You can get some of those bounces. So yeah, I think nowadays it suits me a lot better than when I was younger and more immature back then.
Jacob, it's Incy here. You said you haven't really had much of an opportunity to play many links golf courses, but have you had a taste of what Royal Troon can really spit out?
I haven't been out there yet, but it's funny. I was here in 2016 when Mickelson and Stenson had that duel, because my brother, who's caddying for me this week, he played the Junior Open, so we got them tickets. So I've actually seen the course back then, and it looked pretty tough for everyone, I guess, except Stenson and Mickelson, who were a million in front.
What's it like being outside of the ropes back then, but now you're the one inside the ropes, having the opportunity to tee up in this incredible championship and actually just clipping a few balls behind former world #1 and the legend himself, Rory McIlroy?
It's pretty special. I remember when we were here, me and my brother sat right up there on the side of the grandstand, watching some of the guys hit on the range, and to now be standing inside hitting myself it's pretty special. It's pretty amazing. Like that's what I was dreaming about back when I was here in 2016, you know, and been dreaming about my whole life. So it's really enjoyable so far.
What club have you got there, Jacob?
The 2-iron I'm testing out because I play with a hybrid
a new
for a
club
long
in the
time.
bag. Okay, so this is a little sort of test here. We want you to hit a few different shots for us. Do you want to change club,
Okay.
or you want to have like a one you know a little better, or you want to use that one?
Sure, I'll grab a 7-iron. I know that one pretty well.
That's too easy. We need a 5-iron. Anyone can hit a 7-iron.
grab a 5-iron then.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, you know, golf is never played in straight lines, but I'm going to ask you, you can have one warm-up, and then I want to see your dead straight shot.
Dead straight shot, all right. That's actually what we've just been working on with my coach here before we got
Who's
on
your
here.
coach?
So, Andreas Cali.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
God, beauty.
Okay. Let's have a look at the curve. 8 feet of curve. That is not too bad. Okay. And 107 feet of apex. So can you show me something which is like 60 feet of apex? So that was 107. That's kind of, I guess, like a standard flight. But if it's windy, crosswinds, what do you do? I notice you always do that little kind of posture drill. Is that just to kind of level yourself off? I noticed you doing that in the competition as well.
My right shoulder tends to get out here a little bit too much. Like everything's pointing left. So I kind of do that just to get it more straight. Get everything pointing the correct way. Now for,
that sounds
for
good.
a lower shot, I like taking a smaller stand, kind of getting it back, because usually if I'm trying to hit a lower one, I'm also trying to hit it a little softer. So those smaller stands get a little bit back.
I really like that comment that Jacob just made there with the tighter stance and the feet, just levels out those shoulders a bit more. Yeah, that was 100% lower for sure.
So that's 80 feet of apex. So now we want 80. We want 60.
That's
60.
Really low then. 60. I gotta get it
20
further
feet
back.
off this.
This is going to be the Stinger 5-iron, Jacob.
Yeah.
So it looks like all Jacob's done there is just nudging that ball position, slightly further back. Let's see what those numbers are saying. Apex of 74.
Okay, so we're dropping. So taking a little speed out of it's interesting, right?
Yeah, it looks low.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, here was give us like the low. It's a hurricane into the hurricane into. This is the famous Danish Stinger. I don't know if there is a Danish Stinger, but this is it.
Comes up pretty fast.
Okay, that is a little lower. Let's have a look.
55 maybe?
Oh,
maybe that's
58. No, 58 feet. Okay, that's too easy for you. We need something else. Okay, so now we're going to go driver. Are you ready for that, Jacob?
Yeah, I just got to grab a tee.
Mr. Simon Holmes working you hard, Jacob. He's coached a few decent players back in his day.
Oh, is my day over, Lindsay?
No, it's absolutely, truly still alive.
Okay. All right, Jacob. So your stock driver, what kind of a shape is that for you? What's kind of like your standard shape?
It sounds weird, but it's kind of straight. I like trying to hit it straight.
Okay, here we go.
Because then it can draw a little bit and it can fade a little bit. If I really got to go at it, it'll probably be a draw, but I don't hit it that far, so.
I love range sessions like this where you can just play around with different flights. That was pretty straight, maybe a baby fade.
Let's have a look.
Anything.
120 apex. You've got 20 feet of curve. Okay, 170 ball speed, 290 carry. Yeah. Okay, so let me. Can I see okay? So imagine this is. I want to see a low fade. Take us through low fade. Easy shot.
Actually,
I mean, anyone can do it.
I hit that a couple of times at belly, just because of how windy it got. Deep down.
I think the low fade is the toughest shot.
Don't tell him that.
That's the one I use if it gets tight. Or it could go driver off deck.
Oh, we're going to see one of those for sure. Now you've thrown that out.
This is a little downslope. That's not the ideal situation.
No excuses.
For it. little bit of curve
Nice,
on it.
Jacob.
Do you like
Light touch of wind from the right. Oh, I love that.
I mean,
I love that shot. That's the go-to if it gets
You've almost
tight
half
and
the trajectory
kinda
there.
need it.
Yeah.
It was 120 apex previously, and that was just 80 feet.
Okay,
so.
now we want to see. So you're downwind on the 6th hole, the par 5. I want to see what's the max. Don't injure yourself, but I want to see like 140 feet of apex and absolutely like out of the park.
Time to shine, Jacob.
I want you to hit it so hard the guy right behind you turns around and goes, "What was that?"
I just hope I don't rope hook it into that car park over here on the right.
Don't worry about that.
They're all insured, it's fine.
Let's go anywhere. I actually went straight.
Oh, that's a
Might need to
belter.
hit that more.
176 ball speed, super.
Oh shit!
Wow.
308 carry. Why don't you just do that all the time?
Yeah. Maybe I need to. Maybe that's what I just unlocked. 5 miles an hour ball speed.
Okay, apologies for the language there. Anyway, okay, here we go. One more drive, same thing. So I want to see a draw. How do you hit a draw?
Ooh, this one. Just trying to feel up and inside on it. Get it curving that way. It's not.
Okay.
It's not the shot I love hitting with the driver because it gets my tendencies of being a little too much inside, moving.
Yeah, you can kind of play with that. Okay.
But we can give it a go. Don't square the shoulders as much. Then. Healed it. I like to fade a little more.
Yeah, that's okay. Fades your shot. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see, but down the left of the driving range, there is a sign that's 152. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Left side big. There it is. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's 152 yards from where you are, more or less. Okay. And that is the 152nd open. And
oh yeah,
I want you to, yeah, right. So I want you to pick.
Now I get
what's your 152 club? Is that a 9-iron?
With this, what's that in meters? That's about 138. That would probably, I could get a full wedge there with a little bit of down breeze, but normally it would be like a 95% 9-iron.
Okay, so you got 3 shots, Jacob, to hit that baby.
To hit it? Oh, damn.
Yeah, no, to hit it. You're easily going to manage this. I think this is one time only. Let's go.
So wedge in hand first, right?
Wedge in hand. See it and do it.
No, I got the soft 9-iron.
Okay, yeah, I like the sound of this, to be honest. Sounded like a great contact.
Get left. Hit it. Oh, no way.
Oh, Jake!
Did you bounce that?
I think that just
hopped
over.
I think it landed just short of it. I think it landed just an inch short of it or something.
That's
and
like
then kicked.
half a point.
Oh, that's okay, but the problem with this is in this game it's binary. It's ones and zeros. You hit it or you don't.
Yeah, how we count it in golf. No middle ground. Give it a go again. Oh, it's just like
okay.
I hit up and down, no?
The number was good.
Cracking effort,
I'll
though.
tell you what, Jacob, listen, buddy, we are going to have to leave you, but you are a star, and we hope you have a fantastic week, okay? And thank you so much for all of your time. Really good luck.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Rufino, a 28-year-old drug broker.
Didn't belong. I knew I didn't belong. It was unbelievable.
And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Trevino.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational outfit.
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
We are at the 152nd Open, and it is just so cool. The man in the camo in the middle of the screen as we zoom in. Incy, recognize that swing?
I mean, how can you miss it? Just so elegant yet powerful.
So Jakob Skofolason just saw one of Rory McIlroy's drives. We were chatting to him. Rory having a look at our screen. It's like, I think if you were to say to someone who'd never seen golf or not on this planet, okay, this is what golf is supposed to look like. Just have a look at this.
That is your avatar, right?
Yeah, that's
your
it.
textbook.
That's it.
From setup, motion, finish, balance, poise, everything.
Yeah, I think that's right. Those are his results. This year, the one at the US Open, Incy, was painful. Just, I think the putt on the 18th, I think, was an extremely hard putt because he couldn't have a go at it. He had to play so much break. So take that out. But it was an opportunity, wasn't it, to break the drought. It felt painful to watch.
Yeah, I think for us, you know, sitting on the couch, watching in kind of thing, it's easy to just judge that as a 3-footer. But it wasn't. It was to win a major. It had a lot of break for such a short putt. And what he said in a press conference was he didn't want another 5-6-footer back, you know? So he just dyed it a little bit. It broke a bit too much. Yes, he admitted that he got a little bit tentative, but it wasn't as easy as your everyday 3-footer.
Oh no, I mean the mistake was to be above the hole, wasn't it, with the third shot. But anyway, that is over. We are at the Open, and Rory McIlroy has another amazing chance. So here it is. It is a ground-to-ground missile that we are watching here. Let's have a look. 173 is the average ball speed on the PGA Tour.
I mean, Jacob's good one that we saw moments ago was about 170. Obviously, it's hard to compare a player like Rory McIlroy to him because he's still growing and has a lot of power to build. And it's a huge difference. An extra 17 miles per hour is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, it's arm speed, right? I mean, it's like I was just in a golf school with Martin Borgermeier. We were in St. Moritz, and it was just, he hit a drive with me 420.
He's a monster, though. Martin's just a different kettle of fish.
429 carry. 429.
I reckon you've got that in the tank, Simon.
I am probably...
Breaking 3 ribs in the process, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. So 187. Let's see what Rory's got. Let's have a look at the way the pelvis moves. It's there. It drops. It rises. That's the power move. That's Rory's kind of kryptonite movement. The launch, 157 feet apex. I mean, I think the reason they look down is there's no way they can see the ball.
I think the thing that really stands out to me when people see Rory in the flesh for the first time, they always say, oh, he's so much smaller than I thought. He's quite a compact individual, right? When he first came onto the scene, maybe he had kind of baby podge. Am I allowed to say that?
I think he had sort of
help me out
relaxed.
Here, Simon.
It was more of a relaxed midriff than it is now.
But now he's built like an athlete, right? He is lifting heavy weights before he tees it up. I was speaking to some personal trainers who are traveling with the tour, and they are all amazed themselves, as the experts that they are, and how heavy of weights he's shifting.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you shake his hand is soft. It's not as though you're not shaking a vice or anything like that. He's not, if you shake Arnold Palmer's hand, it'd be like, oh, can I have that back? But anyway, using his legs. Let's have another shot here. You can see that's his stinger. Let's have a look at that. So he's dropped. So from 157 apex to 86, just playing with the launch. Absolutely crucial. So if he was, we've got on the right left-hand side of the screen is the 18th hole, where maybe Rory McIlroy, that'll be his 72nd hole en route to the greatest walk in the game. Let's see what he does. So McIlroy with driver.
And what the graphics don't show on the left is the thousands of people on either side of the fairway just standing outside of the rough makes that target look so much smaller. McIlroy, it looks like he's teeing that down a little bit.
Little baby fade. Let's have a look, see where it goes.
It's a different game when you're clipping a few balls on the driving range, though, isn't it?
Oh, very much so. I mean, I think that, what I do like with the technology is that the golf course and the range, that distance between range to course is shrinking. You can really do much more work on the range and simulate course conditions, whereas 5 years ago without this, 8 years ago without this, that wasn't the case.
100%. I was listening to a podcast with Sir Nick Faldo in it, and he was saying back in the day when he was playing, he would have had to hit thousands of balls and pace out, cones to dial in his wedges. Whereas now you've got those launch monitors, you hit one shot, that instant feedback can give you so much, where it gives you the ability and the opportunity to actually train your feels, and that's why these players are so brilliant with their wedges now.
Yeah, I remember being at the back of the driving range in the sort of, let's say, the June of 1992 with Sir Nick Faldo, as he is.
That's before I was born, Simon.
Oh, I didn't need to hear that. Inslee Mehmet, newly engaged, the lovely Inslee Mehmet, newly engaged. We're going to ignore that. And pacing off with our feet, how far? But I have to say, back then, Faldo's ability to gauge yardage, like dropping 2 off, dropping 4 off, and if he hit one he knew was wrong, the feel of the club face was something that was much more prevalent there. That was almost the skill. Faldo was a big guy, but the speed didn't really help you with the technology. You had to control the ball, had to control the flights, and you had to control your mind. And Sir Nick Faldo's mind was definitely, at least in my opinion, the best part of his game. He was sort of an athlete looking for a sport. Like Seve was a different type of player. Seve was a golfer. It was in his blood. You could feel he was a golfer. But for Faldo could have been a cyclist, a rower, and he just turned out to be a golfer. He was a sportsman. He was a competitor. Rory, for me, he's a Seve. It's in his DNA.
I've got a question for you. So we just said at the very top there, looking at Rory McIlroy's swing, he's textbook, right? So growing up as an aspiring golfer, I would look up to Tiger Woods and try and replicate his swing. So I would draw the same lines that Tiger did, try and follow the same club path and swing path. But is it something that you repeat? We'll find out.
Yeah, so I think the answer there is there's different models. You know, when everyone was growing up and Faldo was doing what he was doing, even amazing players were copying Faldo, right? But that was clearly wrong. It's like, if you look at the models that there are now when you're a young kid, like for me, when Rory tries to get his swing too much like Tiger, which is kind of like that right arm too much in front of him, that too rigid in that right arm, Rory needs a softer right arm so that he can get the movement of the club more behind him, so that he can let his body work and explode through, so he kind of gets the right sequence. So, you know, like Justin Thomas, for me, his club is too shallow, not deep enough. He's trying to be a fader and he's not a fader. So I think catching the models is really, really crucial. And I mean, there's some new technology which you're able to sort of trace over your upper body, lower body, see how you move, and you can see very, very different patterns of where the weight, let's not call it weight shift, let's call it the pressure, where the pressure moves to. So for Rory, he's just got a, what is it, I think probably amazing is if you watch him finish, every single time he finishes completely imbalanced. That's quite unique.
I think the reason why I've asked that question is because when I was trying to replicate Tiger's swing, proportionally I'm very different, and so I'm going to create different angles, and I'm nowhere near as strong as Tiger. I guess it was a two-part question. So looking at Rory's swing now, you know, what are the qualities that you would take? I think balance is one of the things that you've kind of highlighted there that you would try and replicate.
So I would say, like, Rory's most amazing piece to me is the lower body, right? So if you're going to watch kind of his leg action, the drop and the rise is his magic. Yeah, so let's have a look at this. So Rory just going through, he's hit a few tee shots, just working on some numbers. There's his fireworks show. Rory obviously aiming at some different things, and the ground-to-ground missiles that just keep rising and rising and rising. 160 feet of apex.
That's a lot of golf balls. I wonder how many balls Rory McIlroy's hit in his lifetime. We'll probably never know the answer.
No,
I'm sure there's someone clever in there that could maybe work it out roughly.
Yeah, well, I remember going through with Faldo, and sort of by the time like the 96 Masters was over, probably thought about 2.5 million, but we used to hit way more balls back then. I think now, and I think a lot of the guys 10 years ago, after kind of copying Tiger, have almost hit their bodies into the ground, right? Way too many drivers, way too much gym work, not enough stability. You know, you think of a Tiger Woods, the fittest man who's ever played golf, is the most injured person on a driving range. So Rory hating that. Is that a duff? Sometimes get kind of big left aim and then separation, so big kind of right path through the ball. Let's have a look. That can sort of get his low point dropping back a little bit into wedges now. So just have a look at the legs. These are just little sawn-off shots, but there's a drop and a rise there. Couple of inches drop and rise. For me, that's the piece. The dropping of the pelvis and the rising of the pelvis through that rotation, the sort of the where you have the rotation and the vertical. That combination is the magic piece.
Absolutely. Could just watch this all day long. It's like artwork, isn't it?
He makes it look beautiful. It's like it's a powerful, it's efficient, but it just, there's an elegance to the motion and effortlessness. It's very, very clean action, isn't it? No mess.
I mean, McIlroy's pitching right now. If I had to guess, I'd imagine this is between 90 to 120 yards maybe. But from a grip pressure perspective, does it change when you're hitting a full swing and maybe pitching it?
It's interesting that you asked that, because if I was coaching Rory, I would say there's a lot of rigidity in his arms now, especially his right arm. Looks very stiff. It's almost like he's trying to hold the club out. When he first came out as an amateur golfer, I remember walking around, I think it was like a Spanish amateur or something, with Peter McIlroy, who was a Walker Cup selector. We went to go and watch him. And he was first of all, he was the best player in the field by miles. But he was so soft. His arms were so soft. Yeah, just, you know, let's have a look here so you can just see where that right arm goes. It kind of works in behind him a little bit.
Playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
obviously he's put on a little bit of muscle mass, and I think as a golfer, speaking with trainers, they say, you know, mobility is important, having that dynamic power is important, but you don't want to be too loose because then you've got a chance of injury with those little muscles. Maybe does that compactness come from having a bit more muscle mass, maybe?
I think there's almost a couple of different types of training. You know, there's a training which is very much for performance and increasing your speed, and there's another training which probably needs to be in tandem to that, which is don't get injured, right? And that's probably, you know, that's probably two parts that need to go really in parallel, especially as you get older. The don't get injured part's crucial, right? So it'll be interesting to see. There you go, Mike Bannon, he's got a phone, catching a bit of data. Rory McIlroy, phone back in pocket, glove off.
Have you ever watched Marco Penge swing?
I have.
So he's quite tall, was quite skinny.
Yeah.
I think he's the second longest on the DP World Tour, so hits the ball a mighty long way. But even now, a bit like McIlroy, is starting to put that muscle mass on in just putting the whole package together.
No, you know, Rory must come here and know that we all are looking at him, the spotlight is on him. Beautiful scenes, just the undulation. You know, if you were to show a golfer, where is this? That's Scotland. You know, that's links. Absolutely amazing. Magic. All the different colours. No one does grey like we do in the British Isles. We've got so many different colours of grey. Got lots of different temperatures of rain.
I never thought of it that way, actually. I like that.
No, that's how you can tell it's the summer, because the rain is warmer. In the winter, it's colder. Yeah, it's an incredible scene, isn't it?
I don't know if we're biased here, but Scottish links golf is the best, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it feels, I think it's the Open as well. I think the Open makes it feel, it gives it that authenticity, which is so rare. So anyway, you know, fantastic scenes on the range and so much activity. Let's see what Di has got for us.
Well, Rich and I have bumped into a senior major champion. My goodness, Ernie, what a quick turnaround. A winner yesterday of your first senior major. Now you're here at Royal Troon. How was it yesterday?
It was brilliant. Thank you so much. I mean, you know, Richie knows how tough that golf course is. You've been there.
Yes.
And
Firestone
Country Club, exactly. So we used to play the World Series of golf there, and then the NGC golf events, the Bridgestone. So to win there was quite surprising, because I never really did very well there, but found myself driving the ball well last week. You know, my iron play is normally pretty solid, and it's a tough course, so you don't have to shoot too low. So it all kind of fell in place.
You've been going there for what, 22 years, something like that?
I don't want to really
Not implying you're old as Rich is.
I think I'm older than Rich.
He is older than me, thankfully. He's probably the only guy out here that's older than me at the moment, I believe. Exactly. So, you know, we're not spring chickens anymore, but how's the body feel hopping off the jet last night, getting here and whatnot?
Well, you know, we had to do our little warm-up exercises.
What are they? Can you show us?
Oh, no. That's got to be a secret. Okay. Top secret. But I'm staying in a marine hotel right here, so it's very close. But I must say, when we landed this morning at 6, it looked like the south of France.
Yeah.
It was blue skies and beautiful warm, but it's still nice. But it's just nice to be here, you know, get the feel of the turf. You know, it's a lot different than, you know, Firestone last week. But I'm excited to get going, you know. I actually played my very first Open here in 1989.
I think you did pretty well.
No, I did not.
You finished 10th one year, didn't you?
Yeah, that was 92.
Okay.
I finished 5th there at Muirfield, which meant a lot because it kept me in the European Tour Order of Merit and got myself a start in the US, where I eventually won the US Open in 94. But yeah, I played here in 89. I missed the cut by 2 shots, and I remember it being as brown and firm as anything. So I stuck around to watch Calc win that playoff in 89, so it was good.
Well, the Americans like winning here. You guys love winning here.
Well, I mean, we're on a good roll here.
Yeah.
So you've been at this great championship for many years, and you've seen the south of France sometimes, but I like to see, you know, I like to hear the stories like, give me the worst weather you've played in out here. I mean, there's
there's
been some pretty bad
There's been
times.
quite a few. I mean, the one that really comes to mind is obviously Muirfield in 02 on that Saturday when that big black blob, came over the ocean and hit us. But then, I mean, there's been quite a few. The year when Patrick Harrington won at Birkdale was probably the most wind that I've ever played a tournament in, where the ball didn't move on the greens. I don't know how it didn't never move, but I think I spent 15 minutes on the range that week.
Yeah, I remember that week.
It was blowing so badly. But yeah, through the years, I mean, we played enough times. You know, you've played in all kinds of different crazy conditions.
Listen, you like winning the Open Championship. You've done it a couple of times. You won yesterday. Quick turnaround. You've still got it, basically, is what I'm saying. You could put 4 rounds together this week.
Lately. That's what, your third win in 4 starts?
All my friends got very excited when I won yesterday. So my WhatsApp group and all of that stuff, the guys all, I got you at 1,000 to 1.
Really?
I said, well, go for it. But
that's where the smart money's going.
I said, well, you know what, my time's up, but it's nice to come and play, and to make the weekend will be great. And then if I can find myself somewhere, you know, try and work at it. But you know, you want to make the weekend at our age. Richie knows, and if you have a good one, who knows? I mean, the Tom Watson fairy tale story, I don't know if that's ever going to be written again. I mean, that guy was just phenomenal, and got so unfortunate on that 18th hole, I remember. But it's tough. I mean, these kids hit their 2 irons what I hit my driver. So
yeah, but but as you well know, this is the type of golf though that you can kind of scamper this thing along the ground. It doesn't matter much. So I mean, it's not like, you know, it's you know, bomb and gouge and this and that. It's about placement, and you're still thrifty. You know what's going on.
No, we do understand how to play it. If conditions go our way, if it gets really tough and windy, maybe we can have a shot at it. But listen, I'm happy to be. Happy to come here for I think my 5th Open year at Troon. So, you know, this is where everything started for me, really.
Oh, absolutely. Awesome. I think somebody said it was 33rd Open appearance. I'm just checking with the stats person. Is it your 33rd?
Could be. I mean, like 89, I was my first one, and then from 92, I don't believe I missed one.
Oh. I think worth a flutter, Rich, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's worth a little visit for the 1,001, you know.
Listen, and carry on. Thank you so much. We'll see you play well this week.
See you as always.
Great stuff.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, you know, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Beat Rufino, a 28-year-old brother broken.
Didn't belong. I knew I didn't belong.
It was unbelievable. And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to Lee Trevino.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational outfit.
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
Lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
We are live at the range. Ernie Els, we just heard from him. Amazing man, just won his major, loves the game. Rory McIlroy was on the range for 46 minutes. We can measure everything here. Top tracer, 71 shots in 46 minutes. The maximum ball speed, Incy, 188.2 miles per hour with a 332.9 carry.
Every decimal point counts. You know, that 0.2 is really crucial, but extraordinary numbers, right?
Yeah, amazing. A driving machine. A driving machine, but you know, it's not a straight lines golf course here, Incy. It's not the Masters. It's going to be moving the ball. You know, you're going to need science and art, and probably in quite equal measures. So do you fancy Rory around this test?
I think so. I think a bit of Irish blood is going to come out. And I think if, you know, Rich Beem said it before, you look at the top 4 players in the world, they're amazing golfers and they're able to shape it both ways. And like you said, I think it's really important to have that trait. You know, we were lucky enough as amateurs to play the Helen Home Trophy here, where we get to play Royal Troon every single year. So fortunately, I've had the opportunity to play it a few times, and I had a local caddy on my bag every single year, and he was talking me through how to play this golf course. And quite often, as long as you stay out of the bunkers, and we say that all the time when you're playing links golf courses, you'll have a really good chance, because it's so important to hit the fairways. But like you said, you need to get so creative with those approach shots and funnel things through and chase it down one way or the other way. And you know, it's just so much fun. It's such an entertaining golf course to watch some of the best players be playing on.
Yeah, it's just a different sort of style of play. And talking of style, head to the shop here. We will physically have an amazing shop on site, but if you're not with us physically, please join us digitally. Capture all the data you need from the QR code there, and you can catch a little bit of 152 Open style. Incy, have you been in the merchandise tent yet?
Oh, it's one of the best shops ever. I haven't been here yet, but I always like to make it an occasion, because I like to be mentally prepared for one of the best shops in the world. It's so much fun walking through.
We are off air at about 6. How about 6:10 we go together?
Sure, I'll see you there.
See you there. Now, back to the range, the business side of things. That, I should say, is Bryson DeChambeau, fresh off a pretty stunning victory in Pinehurst, Incy.
Oh, that was just incredible, wasn't it? That bunker shot on 18. I think that was some sort of stat, the chances of him making that sort of up and down. And then you apply the pressure and what it means to pull it off. It was just extraordinary. But, I mean, look how much his body has changed as well in the last less than a handful of years. He's a different build altogether.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? He sort of went into the break that we had with COVID and came out looking like one of the Avengers. But then it was interesting because he just said, I can't eat. The reason that he changed was the food intake. He just couldn't handle the food intake anymore. So now a slimmed down Bryson, and I would also say a much more charming Bryson. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. You know, I think before it was a little bit hot and cold, you know. Some people liked Bryson, other people didn't. Whereas now he's really turned into the fans' favourite. You know, when he won the US Open not that long ago, running into the crowd, wanting everyone to touch the trophy, saying, this isn't just for me, it's for all of you, and I want you to experience and know what it's like to have this in your hand. It was quite amazing. And signing autographs during the championship, I mean, you don't see that, do you?
No, I think that he's managed a lot of things so well. I think, you know, he's one of the guys. I mean, he's playing much better at the moment. Last year he was not playing well at all, but nevertheless, I think he fought the technology so hard, didn't he? So let's have a look at Bryson. Have a look at his swing. Kind of left, yeah.
I also think, you know, his move to live has freed him up. You know, he's got such a big personality. He's focusing hard on his social media presence. I think you know, engaging with fans and having a different sort of reach that he had before. So I think he's got a lot more things in his power, and I think it's made him happier. I think it's made him a lot more confident, you know, having more control on what the output is. He's always wanted his own brand, right? And he is a brand in himself. So I just wonder if that's freed him up as well.
It is interesting. Let's have a look at his swing. So, interesting move, interesting grip, very, very fat grips there, kind of taking the feel of the also the hinging out of his hands, out of his wrists.
Have you ever held a grip, by the way?
Yeah,
one of the clubs?
my hands are absolutely terrible. I've had 7 hand operations, so I'm in the process of thinking about how fat I can actually get my hands around one of these grips. But anyway, so let's have a look at his swing. So really kind of like a left-leaning swing, kind of forward on that left leg. And the mistake is that he gets too left or stays too left. So he does need, he's been working a lot with Dana, who's just on the right there, just kind of lining up with a like 4D app that you can use alongside the top tracer information, which is just to see where you shift the pressure to in your swing. Bryson looking for a baby draw, and when he gets too left, when he stays left too long, he can't get that club to push the ball to the right there. So been working really hard on his game, always working hard on his equipment.
I mean, is he still playing with his 1-length irons, do you know?
Oh yes, I think his 6-iron through the first wedge are all the same length. They're all 6-iron lengths. I think that's an advantage as well in the rough, but let's see. So take a look at his swing.
Quite flat wrist there at setup. It's one line through the forearms and the shaft.
And very much a palmy grip. So he's okay. So this is where we're talking about pivot. So when he gets stuck on the left too long, he has to side bend under it to stop it pulling, right? So that's the bad shot. And so what he's been told there is stand a little bit, or be a little bit more right foot loading, so that when you shift left, you can shallow the club. So let's see if he takes the instruction or doesn't take the instruction.
I would find it quite intimidating working with Bryson, just because he's so meticulous with absolutely everything that he does.
Yeah, I think, well, he's a details guy, isn't he? He's like really embraced the technology, and he's looking for a little kind of left drop like that. But I mean, by his own admission, he's a terrible practicer, which means he's just an absolute fiddler. So he can end up, like, he can go with the intention of being, you know, working on this on the range and end up doing the complete opposite. So see if we can hear what they say.
That's what I've always known, like, the big answer is not exactly right. It's close. Hello, troublemaker. I see you sneak around. Cooper. Congratulations for winning that.
That's Johnny Wonder on the right there, one of the Callaway reps. But it's amazing, isn't it? You know, you could have your coaches helping you, working on stuff, and, you know, even if it's half a degree difference, they can do it.
Oh yeah, the thing about it is, it's almost, when you're coaching these guys at this type of an event, it's almost narrowing down the things to think about. It's not, you're not adding, you're trying to take stuff out of their minds, not add stuff in. So there are his stats at the Open. Very high ball hitter, very wild in a sense off the tee. Did not drive the ball well at Pinehurst, but got away with it. So would you fancy his chances around this golf course? Is he having, I know you've had a look at the course.
Well, I haven't actually been out there yet, but knowing this golf course and also the history of the Open Championship, that rough's going to be incredibly thick. So I think a couple of years back when he won the US Open prior, you know, he was talking about being able to bomb it down there and still have a short iron in or even a wedge. But I don't think you'd get away with that this week. You know, recently when he won the US Open, he talked about that discipline and not necessarily trying to bomb and gauge it, you know. So I think he has to be very disciplined again for his chances to win. But, you know, we were talking about fine margins just a second ago. Bearing in mind how far Bryson DeChambeau hits his drives, if he's 1 degree off, it's from an alignment perspective, he's way more off than your, I'm just trying to think now.
Brian Harmon, who was just behind him.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's a big difference there.
Yeah, Bryson DeChambeau and Brian Harmon. It's an odd couple. You know, hasn't really kicked off since Brian Harmon won a year ago in terrible conditions, but by miles, on a golf course where power wasn't that important. So here we go, Bryson DeChambeau working on some sort of weight shift pattern to try to get the club to shallow a little bit.
It's the never-ending story, isn't it? The grind.
Yeah, it never ends, you know. It's day one today. By Thursday, are you ready to pull the trigger?
When do you stop having practice sessions? So quite often players talk about, you know, I'm just here to warm up kind of thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yes, you've got the opportunity to practice a little bit, study the golf course, figure out a strategy. But once you tee it up on Thursday and the players are warming up on the range, it's not a practice session, is it?
It's an interesting session because it's really just repetitions of the same thing. And so there we go. We saw those two in the bunker on 18 there after the game. So best major scores to par, 28 under. Bryson DeChambeau. Incredible, really. There you go. It's a pretty good lineup. DJ, Bryson. I spoke to Pete Cowan earlier. Brooks is on his way.
It's funny, when I first met Pete Cowan, I thought he was a mute. I thought he didn't talk, because whenever I saw him standing behind players, he just never really seemed to say that much, but he does.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a bit that it's the art of what you say has to be impactful, and you don't want to have tons of chat. You know, each word's got to be kind of loaded, because it's impactful, isn't it, to the player? So you're trying to check on the basics. You're trying to make sure that their feels come, you know, give them the right diagnostic toolkit. You're the eyes that they don't have. Like, okay, when I miss it, so I'm going to miss it. So when I miss it here, what have I done? So it's that diagnostic fast adjustment that you need. Oh, here we go. Great shot here. And you can see, so if we have another look at that from that same view, maybe get a chance to have a look at Bryson, how forward he moves onto that left leg. So really kind of pivoting around the front leg. You can see earlier out on the course. Now I think Gary Woodland, he's very much kind of pivoting around the back leg. You've got guys who stay more in the middle. So let's see. Have a look at Dustin while we wait for Bryson to get himself organized.
Just looks like if you were to put a pole through his head and spine, maybe he just rotates around it, doesn't he?
Yeah, so you can see him trying to shift off to return back. So watch his left hip against that person behind, or the pivot there, the head cover. Is very much centered around that left leg. So you can see, yeah, that's what he doesn't want to do. So he gets kind of stuck on the left side, and then he's got to spin back. So he's trying to move into the right side a little bit longer, stay there longer. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds over the next week for Bryson DeChambeau. Chatting Bryson DeChambeau. Watch that left hip. Stays really forward. He's trying to shift it back. Work into the right side, so he's got a bit of room. You can see him just trying to work it through there. So interesting. It's a Monday of the biggest competition in the world of golf, and Bryson is going through all sorts of moves. Got at least 2 coaches there. Let's have a look from here.
Gary, you got to get
Trying to load that right foot a little more.
So straight through that forearm and the shaft of the club there.
Yeah,
Just picks it up.
Yeah, there was an amazing ball striker called Mo Norman, who kind of used that kind of like forearms to shaft as one line. You know, if you look at Tiger, those arms hang down and then the club comes out. You know, they're kind of taking that angle out and swinging on that kind of one plane.
I believe they're getting very biomechanical here. They've got that sports eye bit of tech.
Yeah, Sports Box AI. It's a fantastic way of sort of visualizing how your sequences move. And, you know, combine that with top tracer technology, which we've got here. And you start to see how the movements change or influence the different ball patterns, distributions. You know, what have you done? Like, if I vary, what if I make a mistake? Like, what have I done? That's what you need as a player. So Bryson working hard into that right side and pushing into the left. There it is, bird's eye view. We are live at the range, Incy. It's a great view, isn't it?
It's amazing. There's always so much happening at the range. You've got players, you know, trying out new clubs for the first time, especially when you're trying to acclimatize to different sort of conditions, the layout.
So just working through his bag. We haven't yet got to the driver. Justin Parsons in the cap behind, coaching some of his guys. That's Brian Harmon, last year's champion golfer.
That grip is literally like a rounder's bat.
It is. I think that's exactly right. And, you know, a lot of the long drive guys use that kind of, and it's quite a soft compound as well. I've been really testing this because, you know, grip, and there it is, Bryson's results. And they, you know, would you expect that as a sort of a power player? You would have thought he'd found a way to temper the power. He doesn't need to hit driver anywhere around here. It's an unusual set of results for me, I think.
Yeah, and also I think if you talk to a lot of players, you know, how do you grip the club? Everyone would say in my fingertips, you know, so I can have that contact and feel and flair. But with Bryson, you know, you said it earlier, it's much more in the palms, isn't it? It's not something you would naturally teach.
No, and I think, you know, in the sort of the 70s, 80s, 90s, there was very little variation in the grip, and now you see a huge variation. Morikawa's got an unusual grip, Jordan Spieth's got an unusual grip, Dustin Johnson looks as though he was gripping a Harley Davidson bike. That left hand comes on very, very, very weak and in the palm, but it's like the hands are passive. It's not hands for him, it's the legs are active. So it's like steady hands, fast legs, as opposed to steady legs and active hands. It's the other end of that kind of pattern.
So we can see Bryson there with Foresight Sports, one of the launch monitors. At times we've also seen him having a TrackMan down at the same time. So both launch monitors. And then you've also got the Sportsbox AI. There's a lot of tech happening all at once, right? Can you have too much tech going on one go?
I would say that he has managed the tech very well. I'd say that you can easily confuse yourself, like go down the road of chasing zeros and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, if you're looking at the data, I would say he's been one of the most successful guys at using the data to his advantage. So, like, say for example, there we're looking at his top tracer technology there. This is just an easy, you know, one of the fairway woods there, 272. And we can just have a look and see, you know, 173 ball speed is PGA Tour average for the driver. So you can see his advantage there. That arm is so rigid to the club, isn't it? It's almost like that's one piece and everything else is moving.
That's the amazing thing with the top tracer technology. And moments ago, we were seeing Rory McIlroy hitting his drive with a hang time of 8 seconds, and he's only got, you know, a fairway metal in hand. And it's 7 seconds. So there's loads of ways that we can compare different shots with different clubs, launching it at 11 degrees, which is quite low, I would say, actually, for a fairway metal.
Yeah, I think 103 apex is, you know, I would say 140 apex would be the one of which is standard. But it's interesting to see how much information and thinking he is doing on a Monday about the movement, talking to Dana, trying to get more load into that right side, trying to not get too left leaning, where the left knee comes across and almost like leans onto the left. His only way out of that is to spin the chest open.
It's not that. That's where we're messing up this one time. Remember that one time with the open where I was like, I think this is what's solving the side pinch.
That's the side spin one? 2.4, right?
No, it's straight spin.
Okay,
so
so
side spin. Something weird.
Mark, let me grab him.
great to kind of catch their chat. So the fundamentals of that chat was basically you could hear some of the language with sway gap and what have you. So that's a kind of a measurement between upper body and lower body. So what's happening is you've got too much left lean, then he's not going to be able to square it from the inside or draw it. So then he's spinning his chest and kind of pushing back. So that's called side bend. Low right side through the ball, like a Zalatoris. That's the weakness in the Zalatoris swing. So you're trying to avoid that. So Bryson is basically working on an upper body, lower body combination, which is going to be more sort of right-sided. And I guess they're kind of figuring, like, if he pushes his left hip forward a little bit, right? If he pushes his left hip forward and kind of that right shoulder sets behind, can he do his adjustment in address as opposed to have to feel it in the movement?
I think ideally, if you're working on anything, you know, I think people underestimate the importance of setup. Look at that. You could see just front on there, that hip just tilted towards the target, spine angled slightly further back, maintaining it on the way back and through a bit nicer. Look at that flush. That's a frozen rope. Launching it slightly higher than before, so 13 degrees there. I do think he's clubbed up though. So 305 carry and a hang time of 8 seconds, no curvature. We would class 12 feet as no curvature, wouldn't we?
I don't even know if you can see a ball that lands 305 yards away, can you? Like this.
Put your specs on.
Here we go. The youth of today. Incy Mehmet. Really, dear, oh dear. So
that was even better.
It was 179. So I say he's just kind of cruising through here. Let's see. What did Rory have it? 183,
I think, to memory.
Yeah, was it
188?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
188.
So Bryson, arms and the club, kind of one unit, leaning a little bit into that right side, and then trying to push forward. Look at the launch, 145, 150 feet.
That launched way higher. And that's the thing, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you've got the opportunity to play around with different things,
I'd say we're getting a ratchet out there to see if we can maybe change that face. Let's have a look. So, a couple of looseners.
Do you know what? If I could wake up every morning to the same alarm, it would be the purity of an iron shot and a ball falling into the cup. Like a combination. Like if you could make a tune out of that. I mean, just listen to that.
I would never have guessed that about you, but that is why you are who you are. I love that.
How amazing does that sound? Come on, let's listen to this strike. Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
right?
Oh, I'm a total golf nerd, so
I think
like,
driver's a bit too much to wake up to, but it's
bit
like
of
a solid
heart
iron.
attack, yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching Victor Hovland earlier today with my son Alfie, and it was just like, there are some different sounds. Like Rory's tee shot's different. Victor Hovland's iron shots are different. There's like a sound that's different. Listen, let's listen to this so we can push the effects here.
How you doing, boss? Excellent. Good, man. Seen things that I've not seen before.
It's almost as...
different technology now, you know. It's different. This one's something else, isn't it? This is something else.
It's almost as smooth as butter, but there's power to it, like an oomph, like the ocean.
Yeah. I think it's the way the hands might be feeling. The hands look. There's no violence in the look, but if you looked at the ground of what he's doing, he is really pushing those feet.
I mean, in case anyone's just tuned in now, confused about what we're talking about, we're just mentioning the quality and the sound of these iron shots. If you could wake up to any sort of alarm sound, what would it be? For me, it would be flushed iron shots and putts rolled into the hole.
I was down there a couple of weeks ago at the amateur.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I was thinking more Pink Floyd, but I like where you're going.
Dangerous place, man.
Right. Bryson, US Open champ.
Looks like he's freed up a lot in this practice session now. Moments ago, he was a lot more technical, working on his body alignment, setup, looking much more cautious with his actions, and the last 5 minutes or so, it's kind of been whack, 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 maybe trying to find a little bit of fluidity, perhaps.
Yeah, Dana in the hat there. Here we go. The range at the Open. I wonder how many golf balls will be hit this week. So we shall leave the range for a few minutes and find George Harper, who is out there somewhere.
Hello again, team. We've made it down to the chipping greening. To give you a little perspective, the driving range is about 152 yards that way. So the players wander down here, and this is where they get the real bunkers. These are sort of mimicked on some of the holes out there. And look at the lips, look how severe they are. And we've seen some funky stuff, and we've found Cam Davies here, who is trying a little bit of licorice all sorts. So we're going to figure out what's going on. Cam Davies, how are you?
Good, mate.
Welcome back to the Open, mate. We're just seeing all the angles you're trying to run here. Can you sort of talk us through the process?
Well, obviously the bunkers here are a little unique for the world of golf, and you can end up in some really sketchy parts of them. So, I mean, there are shots under the lip, but every now and then if you run a ball into the back of a greenside bunker, you might kind of be left with a situation where if you try and go at the green, you've got no swing. So we're trying to find another way out. I have tried it before when I've been over here. I still quite haven't found out the best way to do it, but we're trying to figure out what club and what speed to kind of hit the ball to maybe use the edge of the pop bunker face as a kind of a way to get a ball out, because I know in theory you can kind of use the angles to work, and every now and then it works out, but yeah.
So you're going to this left pin here, right?
I'm going to get him over to this one. Yeah, obviously if it's over there, you could maybe find a way to just scratch one onto the edge of the green with a regular bunker shot. But obviously on the golf course, a lot of the greens won't give you that option. And so if there's a way to kind of rim it around and try and get it back into the middle of the green, obviously that could save you a shot. Otherwise, you're either playing out sideways or back into the bunker. So.
All right, well, let's have a crack. What club have you got there, a 9-iron?
I've got a 9.
Yeah.
I've been trying a few different ones. I haven't really found out one that works better than the others, but the 9 I feel like is the one that gives us the best launch angle for it.
And we've noticed here, obviously the lip of the bunker have the grooves in it, so it's all about making sure you hit the right spot, and I guess that's why this theory might work as well, because you're not relying on hitting that spot so much.
These grooves kind of face down, so I've seen a lot of shots have just been kind of punched back down to the bunker, but every now and then if you catch it right, it comes out. And if the bunkers on the course are a little smoother than this, maybe a little less grass in the face, it might come out a little more consistently. So
right, let's have a crack. This is wizardry if this comes off. Oh, look at that.
There you go.
There we go. And so what was your other option? I saw you playing another one before. I'll get your lob wedge for you.
Yeah, it would just be trying to dig the heel of the lob wedge in as much as you can and trying to get it to come out sideways. It's maybe getting as far away from it as you can, almost tilting the face so it's facing at you. Hopefully that'll help the ball come out a little left.
If you can't hear us over that plane, fair enough. But this is the other option, trying to really pop it up and aim a bit further right. Almost playing almost a little draw swing, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's just without hitting the face, how far left can you get it to go? But as you can see, like, it's a hard one just to get on the green that way. If there was another way to do it easier and get it to 10 feet, I'd take it during the tournament. So.
Well, speaking of the tournament, Cam, while you're here, once again, your first alternate. It was a similar story last year, wasn't it? How does that feel?
It's great.
Well, when you're a two-time PGA Tour champion, it must be pretty frustrating at times.
I mean, yeah, this is just about my favourite tournament in the world. I've gotten to play one back in 2018. I'm kind of hoping I get another opportunity soon, but it kind of stings a little bit more once you're here and you see what it's all about and the golf courses. There's so much creativity here, and I love playing that way. So I'm here if I'm needed again.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm happy to have fun and try and learn a few new shots while I'm at it.
And just to finish off on a more positive note, how was it winning on the PGA Tour again, mate? That must have been really special, and to do it in the same spot as your last one.
Yeah, obviously I've got good vibes in Detroit, which is great. I'm happy to keep going back there and love to add to that. But yeah, for the first time in 3 years, it's been a bit of a dry spell, and you definitely get thoughts of whether or not it's going to come along again. This game's pretty rough at times, so great to see some progress and see it in the form of a trophy, and yeah, hoping better, bigger things to come.
Nice. Well, we hope you get a spot this week, mate. Best of luck, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Control. It's often out of your reach. Your opponent. A line call. Even the bounce of a ball. Every game is full of unexpected twists and turns. You have the lows, the injuries, being away from home, the pressure. And the incredible highs, the wins, exploring the world. Every day, a new opportunity. Life is rarely a straight line. We can help wherever it takes you.
Yeah, fantastic scenes. I'm delighted to be able to say that I am joined by Dame Laura Davies. Laura, you're a big, big Open Champion fan and Links fan?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, all the tournaments we've played over the years in our Open, I've been round here, played this one twice. It's always lovely, and you heard the excitement in the players already. They're just happy to be here. They're looking forward to it. It could be testing if the weather turns nasty, but it's just fun.
Yeah, fantastic. So please come and join us. You can join us in lots of different ways, but join us at the Open Range send us any questions, any comments, any little nuggets that you may have. There it is. Laura, were you a big practicer at a week like an Open, Ladies Open?
More before the tournament. You know, once you're at the tournament, I never thought you could find anything. You either had it or you didn't have it, and that was the way I used to go. So it was, no, I'd never do more than an hour on the range at any given time.
Yeah, and most of your work on the course?
Yeah, exactly. See the course, probably do a 9-hole and a 18-hole practice round in an Open, British Open, Women's Open. Yeah. Some of these guys, you know, they've played Sunday, they'll probably play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as well. You can overdo it.
Oh yeah, exactly. So when you're doing a practice round for sort of our players at home, what are the key things? What are you looking for?
Well, it's kind of negative, and I'd never suggest it, but where I suppose it is positive. Where do you not want to hit it, sort of thing? So find the safe areas, be it to a tough pin position, be it there's a bunker, especially in links golf. There's always so many bunkers that you've got to worry about. So links golf, there's a lot to be seen. So
a lot of strategy. And did you find putting on links courses a much different challenge? You played a lot in the US. That's very, very sort of regimented, isn't it? You know, I always thought the reading of the greens here is such a difficult thing to do. It's like some people could do it and some people couldn't.
Yeah, it really is different, and it's a lovely different as well. I actually used to putt quite well, if I'm honest, on links greens. I think that it brought everyone down to my level in that it wasn't super slick, super smooth greens. They are beautiful. They're world-class greens. They're just different.
Right, yeah. No straight lines in golf. Straight lines in maths, but not in golf. Sam Torrance in the background. Minwoo Lee in the foreground. What do you think of Minwoo Lee's ball striking?
Love it. Absolutely love watching this young fella. I'm actually quite surprised he's not won more, because he's that talented. I know that the pool of talent is amazing, but I would have expected him to have won more by now.
Yeah, I think he's got there's a little pizzazz or something. He's got a little bit of something there that's different than the others. You know, he's got a lot of talent, but he's almost got a little bit of belief, and he can roll his walk, can't he?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I was down in Australia at the end of last year when the guys, especially like Cam Smith was there, he was there, and he did some cooking show, and on one of the holes the chef came out, he was actually hitting, I don't know if he actually hit a shot in the tournament in the chef's uniform, but he certainly embraced it, and all the gallery started wearing these chef's hats. It was good fun, and he embraced it, and I think that just shows the character of the young fella.
Yeah, I agree. So Minwoo Lee, one of the rising stars. In the background, the superstar that is Rory McIlroy, sword in hand. Laura, unbelievable Rory McIlroy with the driver, hey? What's he looking at? No, he's got a wooden, that's Johnny Morgan. Now, Johnny Morgan is a peddler of persimmon woods.
He came around my house not that long ago, because I told him I had a load of old persimmon-headed woods that, you know, Mizuno ones, Merriman ones, and he took them away because he has such a collection of them, and they're just sitting rotting away in my club area.
He's got some of mine. I've got a couple of McGregors as well. I know Rory McIlroy was having a few clubs made by John Morgan. The persimmon driver, Laura. You would have been a user of the persimmon driver.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? When you look at them now, you think, how did I used to do that? But funnily enough, I used to drive it pretty straight with my old persimmon. It was Merriman I was with at the time when I in my early career, and they used to have a super range of them. And yeah, beautiful clubs.
Yeah, Mizuno. The Japanese made amazing wood. So Minwoo Lee, just chatting through something, some serious talent. There's the overhead view of the range. It's kind of it's an exciting range, lots of visuals out there. You can see our 152 board, that's in kind of center left. That's a little challenge we've got going. The postage stamp, that's Sky Golf's challenge for the players. Henny Koyak taking through. So just been told by a friend of mine, Nick German, that the driver we just saw was Tiger's old Nike driver. Can you believe that? That's what Rory McIlroy was handling with John Morgan. That was Nick German who gave me that little nugget. So they're sort of iconic clubs, aren't they? They're sort of, you know, that's part of golf, isn't it? The equipment's so amazingly important.
Oh, without a doubt. And to have Tiger Woods' old driver is not a bad thing to have in your collection. So he gets them from far and wide, doesn't he?
So Min Woo Lee back in business. Chat is over. We'll catch up with him in just a moment. So take a bit of time to work on your short game as well, especially around here. The bunkers, there's different sand in the bunkers, Laura, at the links course.
Yep, absolutely love it. I think it's the easiest sand to play out of. Having said that, if you get the wrong spot, you're playing out backwards, you're playing out sideways, you can't get it out because you've got nowhere to go. But if you get a good lie, especially these guys, you get a good lie in a good spot in the sand, they will get it up and down because it's that good.
Yeah, so much club head speed. It's almost like they're hitting it as hard as they can with a thrown open wedge.
Yeah, and that's the key to good bunker play. Any sign of a decel and you're going to hit a bad shot. Oh, absolutely. There are some shots that you need to kind of drop to get the loose hands and let the club flop into the sand because you want it to land dead. But on the whole, you want to hit it nice and firm. You want to get a bit of spin.
So, Min Woo.
I like his golf bag. Look at all the postage stamps. Callaway always do a majors
great,
bag.
Yeah, they're around
Actually,
the
that's
town.
not his, is it? That's the group over. I thought.
Yeah.
Can't quite see the name on that, but they are. That is a lovely bag. I'm with Callaway. I'll have to send him a little message. Don't suppose you got any spare postage stamp?
Peter Harrison is the man.
That's it, Peter. Lovely chap. Looks
Peter,
after us all very well.
Peter Harrison. He was the first tour rep who he actually set the standard for being a tour rep. So if you did, there it is. Have a look at that.
Oh, it is Min Woo's. I didn't realise that. I thought it was a bag further over. Actually, there are probably two Callaway players. They have such good equipment. There's quite a few players out on the tour that love their Callaway gear.
Yeah, it's a very, very special week, and the manufacturers are a very, very important part of that. So, here we go. This is from our minion cam. Don't often get to see that. The figure in the back, all black. Peter Cowan.
He always wears all black, doesn't he?
All black. Peter Cowan. Heart of gold, all in black. Amazing coach. So, Min Woo Lee from behind. Let's have a look and see what he's working from. So, those hands really kind of exiting left and across him, trying to take any kind of timing of the hands out of his swing. You know, under pressure, that's not going to work. Have a look at his. Here's Top Tracer there, brought to you by Rolex. That's our technology. Really kind of like innovation on the driving range. That live on the range, bring you all of the data, all of the action. And the players, this is relevant because this is what the players now use. Laura, this would have been not in any way reflecting upon age, but just to say that at your time when you came out on tour, this was not available.
No, absolutely not. It was very different. The manufacturers back then, you could have input if you wanted, but like I said, I was with a Japanese company, Merriman, and they were so professional. They took me over to Japan and they measured everything, and I just accepted whatever they sent to me. Nowadays, these guys really want to be involved. They've got their own ideas, and the manufacturers look after them so well. And with these interchangeable heads now, so easy to swap clubs in and out.
Yeah, it is. Technology, massive part of the game. It has, you know, the modern tour player has to adapt to the technology. That's one of the key things to be able to stay relevant.
Yeah, exactly. And I've just realised you called me old then, didn't you? But indirectly. Very well done.
So there you can see on the driving range there, our huge monitor. We've got Bryson DeChambeau up there against the longest drivers. Nicholas Højgaard, Koepka. Oh, my eyes weren't quick enough. Here we go. So that's what it looks like. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is work day. You're going to see a lot of coaches. You're going to see a lot of manufacturers. You're going to see a lot of players getting organised. Here's Min Woo. Really, really full turn. Short, wide arm swing, creating lots of speed from big radius. Amazing the way the swings have changed, Laura.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I make no secret of it. I don't know a lot about the golf swing, if I'm honest. So you can stand here and tell me something. It'll go straight over my head, Simon. But yes, they are different now. A lot more athletic, I would say, and they're a lot more regimented. Whereas in the old days, you had a Gary Player, Lee Trevino swing. All these swings were so unique to them.
Yeah, but I think that's not a bad thing, you know. The guys have to be so involved in it because the technology's moved on. You were like a Seve. You saw the ball, you saw the shot, and you did it. You had amazing visualization. So you're more art than you are science, which is why you're the most successful lady golfer on the planet. So here we go.
I wish that was true.
You are amazing. She is amazing. Dame Laura Davies, one of the great ambassadors for the game of golf. Anyway, we are going to go and find Di Stewart, who is down there making magic herself.
Delighted to be joined by Alex Noren at the Open Live at the Range round table. This is only for a few guests, I have to say, Alex, but it's because you qualified for the Open Championship yesterday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Feel good?
Yeah, I feel good. I skipped the qualifying. I think.
Well, it was a good choice.
I know. I needed to see my family and the kids, and then had the chance yesterday, and I grabbed it. So I'm very, very pleased. Yeah.
He did all right, didn't he?
Did.
The Scottish.
I've got to pay you a compliment because last week when we were at the top of the show, I was out there watching some of the other golfers right at the putting green, right next to the first tee, and I mean half of them had strings, apparatuses, mirrors, this and that. Yeah. You had 3 golf balls and you were hitting them as fast as you possibly could. Yeah. And it was fun because there wasn't a science to it. It was an art form. You just got up there, you saw the line, you tried to hit it, and you just kept holing putt after putt. And I'm just saying, this is how putting should be. You putted like a little kid. Is that kind of how you attack it?
Well, I actually had some lines that you couldn't see, but we draw the lines in the beginning of the week, and then it has like dots as well. Okay. So I try to just imagine the ball rolling over those dots. So, and the whole theory about it is to get the speed right. So like kind of like a kid. It's you just have the speed, and it worked all week except for when it got really wet on Saturday. And got slower, and I couldn't really get it all the way to the hole. So, But on Sunday, I spent about half an hour before the round, which I usually don't, and then just wanted to get the speed and get like a little bit more automatic. Yeah.
And that's what it looked like. It's just because like every time you go to a tournament, I remember the PGA and trying to find any hole to putt to, and like there's everything around. And even though you had that line though, I mean, it still was so refreshing to get up there and just kind of, you hit one and then all of a sudden you watch it go in, pull a ball in, you look at it once and you look at it and you pull the trigger. I mean, does that take some of the stress off of trying to always be perfect when you hit putts that fast in practice and just like, listen, I'm going to trust my abilities?
Yeah, so like I think every other sport, if I look at Steph Curry shooting shots, it's not that much thought, but then if you do it over and over and over again, and when I take too long, I start thinking, and it's not very good. So the same thing here, just to kind of do now I have a stick and then you just do it. I don't film. I don't want to see myself. I don't want to see myself putting. You just do it. And then, when I grew up, I try to like imitate people, and you imitate Tiger Woods, or like, if you played a good tournament, you chipped a certain way, you go out on the course right after and you try to do it. And if somebody would have filmed you, you would have been, oh my God, I didn't even look like that. But in here, you feel like Tiger maybe if you hit a good shot. And I think it's something to that. I think golf is kind of in my view, like when I trained when I felt the worst is when I try to have every position correct, but then when I play my best, it's kind of like when my teacher tells me what to do, he's on me, he's picking on me, your shoulder needs to be there, but I don't want to see it, and he still wants me, yeah, look here, it looks better, and I don't want to see it. So just to kind of do instead of, you know, kind of thinking.
No, reacting is sometimes the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It's so true, and I love that. Going back to being a kid, isn't it? And actually trying to have a bit of fun playing golf, because it becomes so serious at your level, which I can only dream of. But coming here to the Open Championship, you've been at Troon before, you've played here. What do you make of this track? Traditional links out and back?
Yeah, and I was here in 2016. I haven't been out.
Right after you won the Scottish Open, that's right. I remember.
Did you play?
No, I was watching you though in a practice round. I was watching the practice round, and you were hitting some of these unbelievable shots on the par 5, 6, I believe it was, around these greens. You just had this thing open straight up this way, and you're beating down on the grass, and I'm kind of watching this going, how is that possible? And it was mind-blowing how good it was.
It was quite a good year for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good year. But and I remember the first 4 holes here. I don't know if this story is true, but I was like, why are the four first holes quite easy compared to the rest? Right. And then they were like, well, we don't have a range, so we just wanted you guys, you know, in the back in the day to get a feel. I don't know if it's true. I hope it's true.
I can see that being true.
I can definitely see it's true. Now, listen, it's fab to come through qualifying. You've got the pressure. There's kind of like, you know, expectation, but not really too much expectation, because you weren't going to be here Sunday morning.
Yeah, and it's like, especially coming in, and I played decent last week, and then you kind of know where you're standing with the game. So now it's more, you don't have to kind of, I always feel like if I play a bad tournament, then I come into a big major or something, then you kind of work a little too hard. I tried to kind of, you know, ease my way into it. It's kind of like practicing like you were a kid, kind of train in a way that you're very secure about the game. Then you know, you can fool your mind that you're even more confident than you are. So I try to do that and play with some friends in the practice rounds and not make too big of a deal, because it's easy at a major. You overdo it, you find the toughest spots on every green, and you think the golf course is tough, instead of kind of like, I will never actually be here.
You don't want to hit it there in the first place, so why are you practicing from there? No, I totally get it.
That's great. We've actually had quite a few social media questions coming in via X, Twitter. Do you say X or Twitter?
I don't have that. I have Instagram.
You guys on Instagram.
I like
you can follow her on
Instagram.
Well, one from Mary. She wants to know, because she's a club golfer, how do you overcome a bad shot or a bad hole? What do you say to yourself? What do you do?
Well, out of experience, I now I actually gotten a lot better at it, because there's always another round. It's not like the Olympics as a 100-meter runner. So it's like, if you can do something, just think about something else, or think about the whole world. You're not that big of a deal. It doesn't really matter. And I think the best thing maybe is to think also like how you want to play the game, not just the result. If you want to, it doesn't really matter the small little result here and there. If you strive to be here and you're down here, just try to get here and not think so much about the results. I mean,
oh my goodness, I'm learning a lot here, Rich. It's philosophy. It's lessons for life here from Alex.
I'm so old.
We all are. No, I love it. It's brilliant nuggets. Thank you so much. We'll let you carry on. Great stuff.
Good luck this week. Congratulations.
Oh, great to see you, Alex. Good stuff.
Right.
Take care.
Thanks for your time.
What a great guy.
Tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this
firm has been sold.
What? To who?
Some multinational outfit.
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting
twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Beat Rufino, a 28-year-old broke.
Didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong. It was unbelievable.
And he put up with a lot. That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dreamino.
I'm playing for my life out here,
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Amazing. So this is the 152nd version of the finest golf tournament on the planet. And please follow this QR code if you would like to be put into the ballot for the 153rd. And that will be at Royal Portrush, a bit of Irish hospitality. Dame Laura Davies, not a bad combination.
Can't beat it. Yeah, they look after you so well. What a great golf course. It's going to be fun.
Yep, so we are completely sold out here. So if you'd like to go out to the next Open Championship, you better get your skates on. Now, a man who is everywhere is George Harper Jr. Let's see what he's got for us.
Well, I've made it down to the 17th tee, and I'll tell you what, there's some tough par threes on planet Earth, and this has to be one of them. An absolutely whopping 242 yards, and throughout the tournament, it's going to be into the wind. Now, I'm not going to pretend to tell you that I know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to get the Ryder Cup winning captain, Luke Donald. Great timing, mate.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
We were just looking at this monstrous par three, and I'll tell you what, this is daunting stuff, and I was too scared to even talk about it, let alone play it. What does this look like from your view?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this hole, maybe I am better commentating this week than playing. This is, you're not going to really, you're going to struggle to finish 3-4 if you're going to win this championship on Sunday. So, yeah, this has been lengthened since 2016. Just a tough wind for players. I think, it's usually in a little bit off the left. That's a tricky wind. Anyone who's a good ball striker is going to really excel on this hole. But, yeah, not an easy finish.
You mentioned you're in the commentary box this weekend. You wear so many hats. You go from being a captain to a player to a broadcaster. How is life, and how do you get that balance right to keep everything moving smooth?
Yes, it's been quite crazy for a couple of years now, really. Obviously great to have the success we had in Rome, and to have the guys want me to come back for 2 more years. A lot of things and a lot of work and progress and thoughts and ideas going into how we can try and pull off a very challenging away win. That would be obviously amazing, but yeah, playing still some, and yeah, this is my third stint with NBC doing a little bit of commentary as well.
And I see Keegan Bradley's got the nod to face up against you. What are your thoughts on that signing?
Well, I think Keegan was slightly surprised to get the call. To be honest, at 38 years old, 19 in the world, he was surely unlucky not to play in Rome. I know Keegan well. I think he's a good friend of mine, and that makes the journey of being captain, like sharing it with someone that you know, a little bit more enjoyable. But yeah, it'll be fun. Again, whoever their captain is, obviously Keegan, but it doesn't really change the way we do it. So it's nice to have someone that I know going alongside me that's a good friend.
Nice. And just finally, to round things off, you're not playing, but how special is the Open? How amazing is it to be here for a lot of the players that are teeing it up this week? What's different about this fantastic major?
Well, we don't play a lot of links. It's a lot of weather dependent. How whether you get lucky in the correct side of the draw, that can really make a difference in the week. It takes a lot more visuals and understanding of the little intricacies of this golf course, the little hills here and there, how the ball is bouncing. You know, hopefully the rain stays away, the course keeps getting firmer.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it's, you know, I've walked a few holes. It looks very fair. There's reasonably generous off the tee. Sort of hidden fairways, which put a little bit of doubt in your mind, but I think it's going to be a great championship. And you know, the RNA, they like to just have the weather kind of depict the score.
Nice. All right, Luke, we'll leave you to it. I hear you've got a tee time this afternoon, so thank you very much, mate. Enjoy the week.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, amazing to hear from Luke Donald. Now I have to ask Dame Laura Davies, Keegan Bradley, were you expecting that?
Not in the slightest. I assumed it was going to be Tiger. He was going to do Bethpage and then come back over in a couple of years to Europe and do it. But yeah, I mean, Keegan wants to be a possible playing captain, which would be unusual, and I don't think a great idea.
No, I like the Keegan Bradley pick, though. I think that throws a mix into it, like very passionate New Yorker, could bring the 13th club in. There are some of our spectators. We will see what happens at Bethpage. The away win for the Europeans would be massive.
And against that New York crowd,
yeah,
it's going to be feisty.
That's who you've got to beat. Suzanne Pedersen will be having her Solheim Cup team this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Victory in America for the ladies, for our ladies. What do you think?
It's a good course for our team. We went there and had a player get together about 2 months ago, and a terrific golf course for long hitters. And we're going to have a lot of long hitters in our team. I think that's good.
Come on, the European women. Speaking of amazing European women, let's find Iona Stephen.
Good afternoon, Iona Stephen here, down on the range with Andrew Coulter. It's good to see you. Fresh in.
Good to see you too.
Thank you very much. Fresh in from the Renaissance.
Yeah, what a week that was. Goodness me, eh?
Outstanding. It's going to be very tough to top that, I've got to say. What a story.
A story, just an incredible finish. You know, not just because in the manner that he did win, but the fact that he had it ripped out of his hands the year before by arguably one of the best golfers that have ever lived. He thought he had achieved everything to that point. Birdie in the final hole in 2023, and Rory came along and finished birdie. So to then come back the next year and finish 4 under for the last 5, birdie in that last hole again, the way he did it in front of the great Scottish galleries, he was just outstanding.
Yeah, of course we're talking about the great Robert McIntyre, now a winner on both sides of the pond, a recent winner at the RBC Canadian Open, but really, Andrew, it was the Genesis Scottish Open. That was the one he wanted. How is he going to reset himself, do you think, to come into arguably the biggest week of the year?
Yeah, quite a lot of painkillers, a lot of water, just to recover from the celebration. That must have been tremendous last night. And do you know what? Listen, for a Scotsman to pretty much win what is in effect his 5th major, he's entitled to at least another night's celebration as well. So hopefully he'll be in reasonable form by the time he makes his tee time on Thursday morning.
Yeah, I'm sure he will turn things around. And of course, many were tipping Robert McIntyre as one to watch this week because we're close to Oban. We are on the west coast of Scotland. And I mean, he's going to feel close to home, and he's a home boy.
Yeah, he certainly is. We've got another home boy here just behind us, of course, Ewan Ferguson.
Yep.
But yeah, it's it's great to just be in this part of the world playing on golf courses that those lads are certainly going to be familiar with. Certainly had plenty of experience around this golf course. They'll know how to play it. They'll know how to deal with all the conditions that it throws at them, and it's a great opportunity for them to just show their skills in front of the golfing public once more.
And there is something in the Scottish ranks right now, Andrew. I'm not talking about me and you. I'm talking about the golfers, and we, as you alluded to, another recent winner behind us here in Ewan Ferguson. He's looking very good, I must say. Ewan, come on over. Looking very good here, ripping driver on the range. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
Are you feeling in good form this week?
It's Monday, so not so far yet, but we'll find it as the week goes on, I'm sure.
We want to say congratulations again. A couple of weeks ago, it was absolutely outstanding. What a way to bring it home down the stretch. How have you been able to kind of reflect on that win so far?
Just always just trying to get better. Reflecting was not as much time. Straight back, got back Monday late, getting ready for the Scottish Open, and then all of a sudden feeling so inspired by watching our Bob win yesterday. So straight on the range today, trying to get better, and I think that's what we've got going well quick right now. There's a few of us doing well, and yeah, just want to just so motivated all the
Well,
time.
there's actually so many questions we could ask, but you're touching on one point. You know, you all came through the system together. You know, what's it like seeing one another doing well? How inspiring is that? What does it do to your games? How are you managing to elevate yourself into this position that you're now, you know, fairly consistent winners now on the tour?
Yeah, just seeing, like, I remember watching Bob's win in Canada and watching that on Sunday night, and I remember thinking, like, I've got to get better, I need to get... And then all of a sudden you're practicing so much harder, you're focusing on winning, because other people, your peers, are doing it around you. And then sure enough, found myself in that position in Italy a little bit, kind of fell away, but I was so motivated to get it going again, and in Germany got over the line. It's just like a big group of us that are doing well all the time, and you just feel like you can't let it slack. You just got to keep trying to get better.
You got over the line well again. That was very emotional for you, you know, in particular, because you had been through a bit of a rough time just health-wise. You know, what did it mean to you when you're standing at the side of the green and eventually the feelings were starting to come to you, and the realisation of what you've just managed to achieve again after a little difficult period?
Yeah, well, 2 months out, I remember just watching my rankings slip and thinking, if I don't start playing soon and playing well soon, I could be back on the Challenger next year. Like, just in this game, golf is so difficult, and if you're not firing, then someone else is there to take your place. So to win just made me realise, like, you know, the exemption's nice. You know, I've got a chance to play on the PGA Tour as well with more good play, and that's where ultimately I want to be, and just love playing, like, week in, week out. And the time off made me appreciate being there and actually realise that I actually really do enjoy my job.
And now here you are, the 152nd Open Championship with a tee time. Is this a course, Royal Troon, that you're familiar with?
I played it a lot when I was younger, like under 18s. I know a few members here that I'd come with and play. And then coming here today, there's a few new tee boxes way back. Thankfully, I'm a little bit longer than I was back then as well, so that kind of cancels it out. But what a day we had today. I mean, I kept saying to my caddy as well, like, just, you know, might be hitting a driver to this spot come Thursday or Friday or whatever day, with the weather on Thursday and Friday not looking so good. It just changes so much, links golf, doesn't it? But it's all part of the challenge, and it's why we love it.
So you must be feeling pretty confident coming into the week.
Yeah, I feel great. My game feels good. You know, I had the weekend off at the Scottish Open, but could be a blessing in disguise, a little bit of kind of time to rest and reflect and get ready to go again. So quite happy to be here now, practicing, getting ready to go. And yeah, I'm just so excited to be playing in Scotland as well, not far from home, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, very good.
And having just won, there's not really, Jamie's over there, of course, Jamie Goff, your coach, there's not really much, if anything, you're really sort of working on.
Yeah, just making sure you're doing the same thing over again, not getting into any bad habits. You know, sometimes in the wind you can get into a few bad habits. Sometimes you can over-exaggerate the feelings that you had that felt good the weeks before, and you keep doing it, and then all of a sudden you kind of overdo it and stuff like that. So just kind of staying on top of all the fundamentals and sticking to my shape. We know what shots I might need out there as well. So working on a few low shots, a few high ones as well when it gets downwind. But you know, all the kind of basic stuff that you could imagine. Yeah.
Great stuff, Ewan. Well, thank you so much as ever for your time. We really do wish you well this week, and yeah, we'll be keeping our ay out for you.
Absolutely, man. Nice to meet you.
Cheers, Ewan. Enjoy the rest of today.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers, guys.
Very good. Andy.
Yeah, fantastic insights from live at the range. There it is. Interesting to hear. Home hopes. Scotland has had sort of missing some champs. Maybe this is the week. Yeah, we are live at the range. It is Monday. Dame Laura Davies is here. Dame Laura Davies. Who's like Matsuyama's rhythm? It's distinctive, isn't it?
I do, yeah. He's struggling at the moment, isn't he? He tried his hardest last week to make the cut. He actually had a putt at the last to give himself a chance and just missed it. But he doesn't seem spot on to me. You never know. You can turn it round. He's got 3 days. He's had a couple of days off, so he could turn it around, his game when it's at its best. Well, look, he's world number 14. He's obviously not struggling. He's had the injuries, but whether this is his week, not sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a long time since Japan has really had sort of like a superstar. He's certainly the one at the moment. Hits the ball pretty high. I'm not sure if that's an advantage. You know, when we saw him play at Augusta, that amazing combination, that weekend, he was just so bulletproof, wasn't he? It just kind of feels like he hasn't found that again.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's such a hard game, and they go from different course to different course, different grasses they play on. This is certainly grass I think he would like. I know he hits it high, but it's just such a lovely surface to hit off. You really get feedback from your ball striking. Look how high that one is. Launched it.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone who hits it higher. I mean, you'd have to see the stats, but there's our top tracer. It looks as though that's just gone straight up like one of those jets that comes off those aeroplane, of those launchers.
Fighter jet.
Fighter
straight
jet.
Up. There you go.
Yeah, straight up. So. So Matsuyama, saw him yesterday kind of working on a little bit of posture, just changing the balance. Interesting to see, his coach just needs to move a hair. Telepathic, yeah, there you go. See that? Do you see that? Do you see how I did that?
Superpowers.
I know.
You have got superpowers. I knew it,
Here
but
we
now
go.
that's confirmation.
Thank you. So straight up, very high hands from Matsuyama. Just seemed to sort of have it at the Masters. There was something about him, like a little aura, a little something, just kind of maybe felt like that was his time. Some unusual swing thought there. I'm not sure if that's really any good. So anyway, let's move swiftly on. Matsuyama working on balance. He was kind of lifting his right heel yesterday, trying to maybe feel like the pressure goes into a little bit different place. Yeah, do you see that? Just kind of holding that up, hovering that a little bit.
Yep. And he has a definite pause, doesn't he, at the top?
Yeah, sort of like it's not as big a pause as it was. It's almost like a semi. It's like a semi Hideki now, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was a full Hideki.
A half Hideki.
And this is, I think, there's a little semi Hideki, just as a minor pause. And it was interesting. It was a drill that he did that he actually was just like, you know what, I can't do it without the drill, so I just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I seem to remember years ago with Suzanne, you had for a little while, you had her stopping at the top and for a drill, and she liked it so much she took it to the course for a while, didn't she?
Well, it was interesting. She kind of stopped it, like when the club shaft was parallel to the ground, and the reason was because when she was not playing well, she got a lot of side bend backwards, and she was hurting her back. Remember how many injuries she had,
she
right?
did.
So we had this drill, which was basically like just set the club so that the club stayed in front of her, didn't go behind her, and then get that right side to really feel like it stayed high. So it was really just to sort of keep her playing without injuring her back, so her pelvis didn't have so much tilt through the finish and finish more level. And then she was just like, you know what, if I hit it so well doing this, why don't I just keep going? I'm like, okay, go for it. She played a Solheim like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember it was for a good while.
Suzanne. Hey, grumpy.
Oh, she's brilliant.
She is amazing.
One of my favourite people.
Oh, I love her.
She's a brilliant Solheim Cup captain as well.
She's just fantastic. I gave her lessons when she was 16. Can you believe that?
I do.
16.
You've coached some of the very best, haven't you?
Well, I've been lucky. I think I just stood in the right place for long enough. But anyway, here we go. Matsuyama. Probably a 6-iron, 212, maybe a 5, just cruising through it. I don't know if he's been out yet or not. Let's have a look. He could be just warming up. That's what's so amazing. It's so nice to go out late in the day around here.
Yeah, it's the best time, isn't it? I mean, there's virtually no wind at the moment, and there hasn't been really all day. It's been a lovely day again. They had 4 good days over at the Genesis.
Oh, there's no better place. So Hideki did tee off. He teed off at 12:40. So here, this is post round, just going through finishing touches.
He obviously just played 9. That's what they do. They tend to go 9, 9, 18 or 18, 9, 9. There's a combination. Some of them probably just 3 9s. This golf course, you have to get driven out to the 10th tee if you want to do that, because it does pretty much go straight out. The postage stamp comes back a bit, and then it heads on out, and then a couple of parallel ones, and back in they come.
So Matsuyama, let's have a look and see what he can do. Oh, a little bit of a slip there. That's a bullet, isn't it? I'm not sure that quite came out the middle of the bat. Let's have a look.
Well, he's thinned it about 300 yards.
I know, that's what's amazing, isn't it? It's not a bad shot there around here. Low in the face, probably.
He was trying to hit it to about 230, 220. He's hit it 260. That could put you in a bit of problems in the course over the back.
Yeah. There's definitely something on the Matsuyama right foot there. Just trying to maybe maybe feel like he gets too loaded back away from the ball into that right heel, can't really get himself forwards. It's very orthodox, but for the semi pause, which is interesting. So let's have a look here. I mean, lower body like a weightlifter. Oh, fantastic look from here. Have a look at these legs. So it loads and braces. That right leg's like an anchor, and then pushes through. Very strong lower body.
Yeah, very much. You saw him there kicking his leg out, the quads on him. He could probably kick a football quite a long way, I imagine.
Yeah, well, I remember we've had a few. You were amazingly good, which I can tell you, at cricket.
Did like playing a bit of cricket, yeah. Only casual, not team stuff, just playing for fun. But yeah, I like most sports.
Yeah, I was surprised. No, I wouldn't say surprised.
Oh, surprised! There you go.
I was very impressed. Stepping into a cover drive and drilling it straight through. Alison Moody, I think it was. Anyway, so Matsuyama, the power of the lower body.
I don't think he's working on too much here. I think he's just having a nice, relaxed practice. Everyone's there. The coach is there, probably giving him a little bit of a critique on each swing, but he looks very relaxed.
Yeah. Powerful, isn't it? The way he's driving forward. Very much sort of a push off the right side. He's looking at our slab, which is to get all of the top tracer data, the ball data, the carry, the launch.
Yeah, it's a bit different to our day, isn't it? You had to get all your feel from your hands and where the ball landed. Now, instantly, they'll know launch angles, they'll know spin, they'll know this, they'll know that, and it definitely helps. I mean, it's a different way of playing, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's just a different way of playing. I wouldn't say it's better or worse. You know, if you look at some of the greatest players ever, they were 40 years ago. So, and still the rivalries, you know, that's what's so great about our game and so great about the R&A is it is a part of our history. You know, you're a massive part of the ladies' game now. And I mean, look what the ladies' game has come to now. The Women's Open coming up at St Andrews.
Exactly, yeah, it's great. It's our 3rd time we've played there, which is lovely.
So speaking of potential champions, Ludwig Aberg was out with Henny Koyak, I should say, in the Sky Open Zone.
I am delighted to have Ludwig Aberg here in the Open Zone at what is, shockingly, his very first Open Championship, despite everything that you've achieved so far in the game. Ludwig, it's been quite a journey for you over the past 12 months since turning professional. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's been a lot, but it's been so much fun, and you know, I'm just trying to enjoy it. I'm, like you said, here for the first time. I'd never been to one, never visited one as a spectator, so it'll be a cool experience and really looking forward to it.
You did watch, however, Henrik Stenson win in 2016. We were just having a chat before you came in. How was that for you as a youngster watching Henrik lift the claret jug?
Oh, absolutely. I've said it before. I think it should be a national holiday in Sweden. I think the whole country is watching, especially those who are obviously into golf. And I remember I was in high school. I just started high school, and we were watching it, me and a couple of friends, and it was just cool. I mean, what he did and has done and is doing for Swedish golf is quite inspiring to me. And if I can do half of that, I'm pretty happy.
You are well on your way. Circling back to everything you've achieved so far, I'm personally just really curious at what you've said so far about how you experience pressure, that you sort of view it from like a different angle, like an outside angle. How much is that a learnt thing that perhaps someone told you, or is that just naturally inherent that you're pretty relaxed and you view things differently?
Yeah, I mean, I try to view pressure as something that's such a privilege, because we work hard, we do all these things to try to put ourselves in that position, and once you do, it's just try to enjoy it. It is pretty cool to feel those nerves and feel that excitement, and I try to embrace it. I try not to shy away from it, because I think if you do, and you know, I'm a big football fan, and in football they talk a lot about wanting the ball, and that's kind of how I try to view it, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't, but at least that's what I try to do, yeah.
Well, obviously you've been in a lot of situations so far in your young professional career that have been pressure-filled, Rome, for example, but now you are going to experience pressure like you've never experienced before with our 1-2-3 Postage Stamp Challenge, modelled after the 123-yard iconic par 3, the Postage Stamp. I'm not sure if you're ready for this, so there's going to be a lot of nerves, a lot of pressure.
I know, yeah. I mean, I've actually played the golf course, the Postage Stamp, and this looks tiny. So
yes.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay, well, walk on over. It has been hit once so far.
Oh, okay.
By Brian Harmon
so
at the top
is
end
doable?
of the bag. So the 3 different categories we have for you are wedges, 9-iron to 6-iron, or 5-iron up. Which category are you going to choose first?
How far did you say it was?
123.
23 yards. So I'm going to go with a wedge first.
Okay, fine.
So I'm going to start with the gap wedge, see if I can.
Gap wedge. Is that 50 degree?
That
52?
is a 50 degree, yeah.
50, okay.
Lost my glove. Anyways.
Oh, back
That's
pocket.
fine. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've done that classic thing where like you're on the phone and you're looking for the phone.
Where are my glasses?
You're too young for that now.
I know.
Right. Hopefully you can see that. The little mini postage stamp there. Wind is down off the right.
Okay. 123 is 110.
Okay.
Looks a little left, doesn't it?
Distance looks good though.
I think distance was fine.
That was solid.
Just a little left.
So next category, either 9 to 6-iron or 5-iron up.
I'm gonna work my way up, I think.
Okay.
Is it 9 to 6?
9 to 6, yeah. Which one are you gonna go for?
I'm gonna do a little 8.
Okay.
This one's gonna have to be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So I normally hit this one a little bit further than that.
Drill it in there. Is the pressure getting to you?
Especially when you're talking like that. Get down. Get down.
Oh. Okay. Line was right. Distance not so.
Felt like that was close, though, wasn't it?
Very close. So close yet so far.
I'm gonna go 4.
Okay.
Last shot.
This is the first time we've had the 4-iron plucked. Usually it's 5-iron so far.
Well, 4 is a little bit lower, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
It feels like it should be easier than a 5.
Little punchy, little hit down.
Yes. Might not hit this lip in front of me. Come on.
This is the one. Oh.
Should have had the line with the 8.
I'll give you one more.
Oh, okay.
With any club of your choosing. A bonus ball, if you will.
Okay. I'll go 2-iron?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That would be fun.
I was thinking about driver, but...
Okay. Oh, I've been trying to get someone to the driver. Now I like 2-iron. That's going to be super stingy.
Okay, let's go 2-iron.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, yes. Yes. Does that count? I don't know.
Sure it counts.
I mean, there was a mini bounce beforehand. Does it got hit?
It hit it, though, didn't it?
Let me just listen into our independent adjudicators. Yes. Yeah. Nice.
There you go.
We do have another look here in our screen at the replay of the wonderful strike with the 2-iron. Here we go. Here it comes.
Oh,
Boom.
it hit it.
Wonderful.
Would have been cool on the fly, but...
But it was still. That counts.
That was the mulligan, though.
Check.
That was the extra ball.
No, I mean, it was the bonus ball.
The bonus
so it's
ball.
like in every game show, there is a bonus ball at some point. Hopefully that's got your open week off to a great start. Thank you.
Thanks
for
so
joining
much.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ludwig Aberg. What a total superstar, Laura Davies.
He really is, yeah. Lovely young fella.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
That is the players' hospitality area, Dame Laura Davies, at the driving range. Not a bad spread, I would suggest.
It is lovely. Yes, I was fortunate to have a look round the one at St Andrews actually a couple of years ago, and it is just, well, it's just first class basically. They build the most beautiful place for these guys and their families and all the coaches, and that's why it has to be so big, because everyone's got quite a few people with them.
Yeah, speaking of St Andrews, Dame Laura Davies, that would be, you've played 44 Women's Opens in a row.
Yeah.
And you are not playing at St Andrews.
No, it's my final year this year, my final exemption, because now I'm 60. But I'm not playing well. I'm not playing enough, because I started doing this commentary lark, and I thought I could do both, but my game's gone downhill to the extent where I would feel embarrassed to play on such a great golf course. So I didn't enter it. It was a hard decision, but there you go. Life moves on.
44 in a row. Amazing. Amazing. So, Ludwig Aberg.
I like the Swedish accent.
Barry. So, yep. So it's mountain stream, did you know? The A with a little thing and the Barry, Barry, is mountain stream. Just thought I'd throw that in there. That was actually a friend of mine, Alice Johnson, who told me that. So, some flushers in that little group there. Cam Young.
How about Cam Young? Never won.
I know, amazing. I thought he was going to win at St Andrews, which is the one that Cameron Smith won. He just, I mean, like, it was an amazing round, and then he just hasn't been able to put it together. So, oh, there you go, centre in the back there with the lovely locks there. Amazing performance. A putting machine, Dame Laura Davies.
Absolutely. His putting is, well, it won him the Open, to be fair. Rory outplayed him on that Sunday, but he completely out-putted Rory, and that's why he held the claret jug, and it was quite the exhibition. But every time he's over a 10-footer, you fancy him to make it.
Yeah, 2022 it was. Some amazing scenes. Let's see how he got on. 2022 it was.
Yeah, I felt really good going into the week. It was the first time I'd seen my coach in about 2.5 years. Everything just felt really comfortable. It felt like something good was going to happen. It's the home of golf. It's the home of the Open. The stuff you feel around there is unlike any other place. The golf course was set up in a way where I was able to play a very smart, kind of logical approach to it. I was so amped up and so nervous at the same time. I'd never felt anything like that. I'd been seeing the ball go in. I'd been putting so well that day. I knew if I could get it somewhere on the putting surface, it'd have a really good chance of going in. I think that will be the biggest tournament I'll ever be a part of. It's unreal and something definitely I'll never ever forget.
Yeah, incredible performance. It was an amazing Open. You know, everyone, the people's champion was Rory, and it was just that agony of the ball never quite getting to the hole. He had a couple of moments where it looked as though he was going to catch it, but his performance on 17, the putt on 17, got the wrong club, played it, laid it up short, and then two-putted that, and you just thought, oh, Rory McIlroy. Not going to happen.
No, but he thoroughly deserved it, didn't he? He played some great golf all week, and if you can putt well around St Andrews, because some of those greens are massive, you can leave yourself some monster putts, but he handled everything superbly well.
He did. Ludwig Aberg in the front, Cameron Young in the back. Hoodies, definitely the thing. Do you wear hoodies, Laura Davies?
Well, I am wearing my very first ever hoodie today. We've got some Adidas clothing on, and it's, yeah, they went with hoodies for me, so there you go. I'm very mod now.
Looks absolutely fantastic. So, let's go find Iona, see what she's up to.
We are joined by the runner-up of this year's Amateur Championship, which was played at Ballyliffin, Dom Clemens. It's great to see you down here, Dom, and I want to say congratulations on getting your ticket to the Open here this week at Troon, because, of course, you booked a ticket to final qualifying, but you still had to go out and earn your spot, so congratulations. How pleased are you to be here?
Thank you. It was obviously, you know, one of them. It was a tough loss, and it feels like a bit of a booby prize, you know, when you get a slot to final qualifying. But as I've said before, like when in the practice round, I was just like reminding myself of the final that I lost, and it was nice to go out the next day and you know, do the job.
It must have been a great feeling.
Talking about great feelings, you managed to get your name on a trophy that had my name on it, but I didn't win it anywhere near as convincingly as you did. At Muirfield, 17 shots in the Scottish Amateur Stroke Play Championship. How on earth did you manage to just absolutely destroy the field?
I just kept my foot on the gas, I suppose, you know. And
but round Muirfield, how can you do that?
It's just one of them weeks, you know. It's kind of did the right things, put it in play, hit greens and hold putts. People before I went to the tournament kept on telling me how hard Muirfield was, and I feel like that's kind of a bit of a, you know, weak mindset, and some people might buy into that sort of thing, but I kind of just told myself, you know, it's just another golf course, and same again this week, it's just another golf course, and there's no reason why I can't play the same sort of golf.
Absolutely, 100%. If you can do it around there, you can do it around anywhere.
Yeah, and so tell us about how the week's, I know it's early in the week, we're only just getting started here, but how does it feel to be here? And you're looking around, you know, the best players in the world are here. How are you soaking it all in? Yeah,
it feels weird. It's just, I suppose, getting used to the surroundings, and I mean, personally, I'm not too bothered about anyone else. I'm not here to be a fanboy, so focus on myself and try and get ready for Thursday.
Very impressive, wonderful mindset, Dom. It's great to see you here, and we look forward to seeing you play this week. Thank you for your time. Let's get back to commentary.
Yeah, thank you, Iona and Andrew. He was beaten really by Jacob Skoffolberg. By the amateur champion. but put up a very good contest. But what he did at Muirfield, win by 17, that's amazing. So zooming in, those are very young stars. This is a young but established star, and that is Ludwig Aberg, Barry, no one knows. World number 4.
Incredible.
First Open.
Yeah, incredible. He's done a lot of firsts. His first major at the Masters, and I want to say he finished runner-up there, so that was a good start to his major career. You know, he had a really good first 2 days at the US Open, and then fell away at the weekend, fair enough. But here he is at Troon, and who's to say he's not going to be one of the ones in contention on, so you can't say he's going to win it, but in contention again on Sunday. I certainly wouldn't tell anyone not to have a go on him.
Yeah, I think that is Peter Hansen.
Yes, it is. Yeah, he's like his travelling mentor. He looks after him.
Peter Hansen, what a flusher he was. He was absolutely pure ball striker. So there it is, Ludwig Aberg. He has finished second at the Masters, which was amazing. A great chance to win. If you get a chance to look at it, have a look at the shot he plays into 13-second shot. Doesn't have a 2-iron, so his longest iron's a 4-iron. 272 carry. Ripped it. Amazing shot. So some talent in the picture there. Let's have a look at Aberg. Just clipping some wedges. Peter Hansen catching some numbers. There's a little green there. It's a really good driving range because there's so many different things to hit to.
Lots and lots of targets. You can fade it, you can draw it. It's a massive area. It's actually got a huge fence all the way around it. And I noticed in the old days, probably they'd have stopped it at 300. It's probably about 400 yards long, this one, and they probably need it if it gets downwind.
Oh, I think that's right. I mean, what did Bryson go? Rory went for... Oh, they're 350 carries.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the old days, 300 was a good length range, wasn't it? You wouldn't need any more than that.
No, you could have people at the other end of it.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, that's wedge to driver. It's a big change, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his... oh, hello, that's a... Well, I thought it was like a training one, but it's not. It's his actual driver. Coach obviously wants to see something. Not happy with those. I think he's already played, hasn't he, today? Because he's been in the open zone.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Yeah, that's an unusual jump, that. If you're practicing, you normally start with a few looseners with a 60 or a wedge, and you work up to the driver. To go straight from wedge to driver, he's already pretty loose, it has to be said.
Yeah, I'm obviously just working on something, or maybe just a few little numbers. Maybe they're playing the golf course. How about that? Do you think they could be playing the golf course, hit it to there?
I used to do that. It was very handy, and it slowed you down as well, because I was a bit of a machine gun practicer. Just bang, bang, just hit them one after another. So, you know, we used to actually play the course, hit the driver, roughly guess where you'd have been, and then hit a club that you thought the 6-iron or whatever. It's a really good way to practice. It's a lot more fun than just standing beating balls.
Yeah, I don't see Ludwig having a tea time today, so maybe just having a chill out.
Yeah, he had a tough day yesterday, didn't he? It all went wrong for him. 3 over on a course that he was making mincemeat of the first 3 days.
Yeah, just find his way. Still amazing, the explosion from college golf onto pro golf. You know, there's that transition. It used to take ages to find your way on the PGA Tour, and that's all gone. They come out ready to go.
Well, we used to call it paying your dues, didn't we, back in the day? And they don't do it anymore. They just come out and they win. Well, we saw young Dunlop, didn't we, earlier in the year, win as an amateur, and now he's a pro. He's already won twice on both tours, once on each tour. Yeah, you have to go through the odd bad day, and it just so happens he chose the wrong one when he had a 2-shot lead.
Yeah, so there you have it. That is the list of bridesmaids who would love to win a major. Aberg, Hovland, Cantlay, Sir Heath, Thegala, Tommy Fleetwood, he's a favourite around here. Max Homa, he was out earlier today with Tiger and Justin Thomas. So, hard to get a result. Cam Smith is really working hard on sort of whatever he's trying to do, sort something out with his coaches there, his team. Anyway, Aberg, she's checking out what you can see there. That's on the right side of your screen. Ludwig's ball data. So 294 carry, 175 ball speed. That's faster than PGA Tour. Launch 12, that's standard. Apex 120, that's standard. Baby fade. A little Rory-esque in the finish there. Like it all comes to a very fast to a sudden stop, doesn't it? Very balanced.
Yeah. No, it's excellent. Isn't it? He's some athlete as well, isn't he? Very tall. Got all the right things going from Cam Smith in the background there. He finished 6th yesterday on the Live Tour in Andalusia. Not a bad week's work for him. Finished 2 under par.
Let's see if we can pick up what he's working on there. Maybe just losing shape a little bit, kind of feeling like he just falls back under it. Let's have a look.
He hit it both ways yesterday. He had a couple out to the right and a couple out to the left where that caused him problems.
Now, have you the 11th hole? The 11th hole, Laura
Thing of
Davies.
nightmares. It's the most terrifying.
It's just a horrible shot, isn't it? I mean,
and it's blind as well.
Yeah, you cruise through and you think the 10th hole, fine.
Easiest hole on the planet.
And you go, 11, where do I go?
Yeah.
And they said, well, there's an enormous forest of gorse that's a definite lost ball all the way up the right, all the way up the left.
So basically out of bounds.
Then there's out of bounds all the way up the right. So where do we go? There's about 15 yards up there, but where is it? Can't see it.
No, exactly.
Pick a twig in the distance. Very difficult.
We played there about 4 or 5 years ago, and every day, well, I was only there 2 days, but both days I stood on that tee, not having a clue what I was going to do.
So let's have a look at it for you. It really is the start of the golf course proper. There it is. So there's your tee shot. You're coming across the angle there, hitting into that bank of gorse, Laura.
It looks quite wide there, doesn't it? But trust me, it's just not, because it sits at the angle. So if you hit it too straight, you could, if you try and fade it and you don't fade it, you're in the gorse. If you overcook it, you're on the railroad line, you're on your way to Glasgow. It's just a terrifying shot. But the thing is with these guys, they're so long now, I think we'll see a lot of long irons. They'll accept a really difficult second shot rather than risk the tee shot.
Yeah, and very undulating fairways. You've got, and you've probably got a big into left to right wind to add to your pain. And then, really, from here to the house, doesn't stop, does it?
No, the next tee shot is a little bit more generous. You're coming back the other direction. But yeah, it's a relentless golf course. If you're downwind on the front nine, that's the plan. That's what normally happens. You have to make your score round Troon on those first 8-9 holes.
So, yeah, it's going to be really so interesting to see what happens when we start on Thursday. So the driving range, which has been absolutely packed, just thinning out slightly. Guys still going off to play. Practice tee times end today at 6:20. That's Torbjørn Olesen. At 6 o'clock is Justin Leonard and Billy Horschel. And then at 5:50, John Rahm is going to take out Tyrrell Hatton. So lots of action all day long. Laura, you would have gone for 9 holes on a Monday. Would you be a Monday starter here?
No, probably round here I'd have probably gone 18 and 9 Tuesday, Wednesday. That would have been, I think that would have been enough.
There we go. Matthew Jordan, a hero from last year.
Yeah, it's fun, wasn't it? A fun watch.
That is Mike Walker, one of the top coaches in the world. Really safe pair of hands, but he gave us thrills last year, the sort of the youthful, just the love and joy of the game and the competition.
Yeah, everybody loved it, didn't they? They were following him, and he held up under the pressure. He really did, because it can get you, but he did very well indeed.
Yeah, I think that's right. So, and it was the smile and the joy that it gave him. So right hand really kind of underneath it. Legs exploding through.
There's not much of him, is there? He's a slight guy, but very strong. Lots of clubhead speed.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening is, you know, if you're not in the gym, you're not in the game. There he is, Matthew Jordan. He was absolutely superb. His home club, Royal Liverpool. Now, moving into the next level. He's qualified his way in. Working on his game with his coach, Mike Walker.
Nice in the background there, Ludwig signing a few autographs for the youngsters. A few selfies.
Two tour players are unbelievably generous. I mean, Ricky Fowler must have stood there. Well, he did the whole lot. So, yeah, very generous with their time. Interesting to see. So that seems like that's the system. Just getting ready, getting the clubs ready. That's a new part of it. New part of the game is like, where's your 3 would go? What do you put in a driving iron? Those are question marks which are unique to this week. The manufacturer's all ready to help you with that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, sometimes you would take maybe if they got a 5-wood, you'd want a 2-iron in there, or some of them get the driving iron, which is kind of you call it a 1-iron, but it's just got a little bit more back on it. Yeah, so there's plenty to be done. I don't think you'd want more wedges in this week. I think you'd rather have a little bit more choice for hitting it down. For the odd one, you might want to keep a 5-wood in as well for the high ones downwind. It's individual choices these guys will make, but on the whole, they probably all end up with a very similar set of clubs.
And of all the skills, Laura, this week, you're thinking tee shot's the most important?
Round Troon, yes. I mean, somewhere like St Andrews, no. You know, so... Well, tee shot's important in that you keep away from the bunkers at St Andrews, but here you have to hit it straight. If you don't hit it straight, you're going to get into all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, the fairway bunkers are 1-shot penalties. Talking of impressive looking outfits, which that looks very nice there for Matthew. You come and do a bit of shopping with us. Get yourself kitted up. The merchandise tent here is just a dream. I mean, you could lose everything in there.
Yeah, it's like a superstore, isn't it?
It's
massive.
A superstore.
It's got everything.
It's amazing. But scan the code there and get some online shopping. The amazing, iconic yellow umbrellas. I have bought one.
Yeah, I do like the old sort of model on the scoreboards, basically, aren't they? Yeah, they're lovely. Oh, I love British Open scoreboards. The huge ones are so much better than those electronic ones.
They certainly are. So, as a plane takes off, let's see if we can find what George Harper Jr. is up to.
And look, it is just finishing a little walk around Royal Troon. Justin, welcome back. Well, it must be a bit of relief to be here as well as anything else after final qualifying. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's the first time I've had to do that in quite some time, and you do turn up with a slightly different appreciation of being in the field, and yeah, sort of still dreaming the dream.
Nice. We've been roaming around behind the scenes, but we're yet to talk to someone about the course. You've been walking around with a few wedges and a putter. What's your first thoughts?
I did. I had a little sneak around here a couple Fridays ago, actually, and it's good. It really is good. It's classic, isn't it? Old school, you know, all the way out, all the way back in. So I think we're paying a lot of attention to what the potential wind directions might be, because you could play it today and have zero value out of it if the wind completely changed, you know. So I actually think we have a bit of southwest now, which looks like the predominant-ish wind. It's going to change a little bit around, but mainly from that direction. So I think what we're seeing now is pretty worthwhile. Look at it. It's in great shape, green enough, which means the rough's probably quite thicker than probably years past. So yeah, definitely some respect, and gonna have to play well.
Yeah, well, you're back again. How special was it going through FQ? Because I guess to do it so late in the piece as well must be a big relief, because this is your favourite major, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, I mean, as a Brit, obviously the Open is the one that you kind of, you know, you probably hold the putt to win it more times than anybody else, you know, as a kid growing up on the putting green. So yeah, obviously final, you know, it's definitely been on my mind all year that I'm not in the Open, not in the 100% in the Open. You know, even the US Open was a bit of a last minute thing for me. So Doesn't make scheduling easy, but it was great to kind of go to Burnham. Actually, going down to Burnham and Barrow offered me a nice opportunity to sort of walk down memory lane. It's a place that actually won the Carris Trophy as a 14-year-old, so hadn't really been back there since. So it was kind of it offered me a nice, nostalgic walk down memory lane. Didn't really want to be there, but obviously, needs must. But to take the opportunity and go down there and do the business was obviously valuable. And now, Scottish Open has been in between that, but really feel like this is a continuation of the good work done at Burnham and really kind of enjoying the experience here this week.
Yeah, well, I guess that's you find a bit of form there, and how cool would that story be? It'd be a true love story for you to go on and perform well this week and maybe even get to the top of that leaderboard. How special would it be for you at this time in your career?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is a slight sense of a clock ticking away, but at the same time, I still think the dream is still on. I still feel like I've got the ability to do it. You've got to obviously be in the tournament to have that chance. So yeah, going down to final qualifying was a really, really important part of the puzzle. And listen, this is to sort of the walk down. Even if I played in some obviously key groups here at the Open, where you come down here even on a Friday afternoon and the stands are full. Obviously Sundays when you want it to be full, and that's the moment. Obviously I came close in 2018, and I've had a few love affairs with the Open back in the day, but this is, for me, is the best walk in golf. So yeah.
And let's not forget silver medal, Birkdale as well.
Yeah. No, listen, it's been good. It's been good. Even back as a 14-year-old, I made it to final qualifying. For the St Andrews Open in '95. So the story's been running for a long time in my head around what it would be like to win the Open. So now it's time to do it.
We still think you've got it in you, so good luck, mate.
Thanks,
Cheers for the time, as always.
Yeah, see you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, Justin Rose, love of the game. There it is, the postage stamp. You are at the Open Championship.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Beat Trevino, a 28-year-old broke.
Didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong.
It was unbelievable. And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Trevino.
I'm playing for my life out here,
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational outlet in
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
Amazing technology bringing you just new innovative pictures, new different ways to enjoy the golf. So that's the 8th hole, huge key part of the course. I'm in with Laura Davies coming back to the driving range. That is the hospitality tent. That monitor is showing our top tracer technology. So we have we've brought life to the driving range. We can show you all the different shots that the players have been hitting today. Laura, it is I think golf in particular has really benefited from this type of technology. You know, before it was just like the viewer at home, you know, until the ball landed and rolled out, didn't know what was going on.
Yep, it's made a huge difference, and it's fun, and it gets to show the people at home just how far these guys hit it, and how their different swings they can alter the distance just by the speed of their swing. It's for me it's fascinating, and they're getting feedback all the time off those machines.
Yeah, but I mean, you were also you did it visually, but you were a shot maker though. You always were reacting to lots and lots of different shots, moving the ball in and around the place. There's coming into the left part of your screen now, the driving range area. Guys maybe just had their first round getting something going through. Long game is one thing, and now let's head to the short game area with Iona Stephen.
Andrew and I have come down to the chipping area, and it's such an entertaining part of links golf, isn't it, Andrew? Seeing all the variety that you need around the greens. Describe what you're seeing just behind us here.
Yeah, and one of the great things about the links golf course is the revetted faces, which the players don't get to contend with from week to week. It's basically piles of earth laid on top of one another that create a very, very steep and deep face. They are true hazards, as you would expect in links golf, the way the game is supposed to be played. One of the other things that can happen in these kind of situations, of course, is that you don't always end up facing the direction of the hole, because the way the ball can fall into these bunkers means that sometimes you have to play behind them, sometimes you have to play out to the side. So very much a case of certainly taking your medicine, but obviously when you're in there, you try and open that club face up as much as you can. You can see Stephen Jaeger doing that there just now, trying to pop it up. He's got the golf ball nicely back in the bunker there. That won't happen too often for him. You'd expect it to be up the face, and of course when you're up the face you've then got to come in with a massive steep angle of attack. But Stephen, a great season, winning in Houston a few weeks ago. In fact, one of the only players that managed to stop Scotty Scheffler from winning 6 tournaments in a row at that stage.
There are not many people that can stop Scotty Scheffler. Last year at Hoylake we saw James Bled, the head greenkeeper there, actually flattening out some of the bunkers to make them more penal, to avoid the ball kind of feeding into the centre. How harsh do you think some of these lies are going to be around Royal Troon this week?
It's interesting. I mean, I've got to go out there and check that out. I think that was possibly a little bit of an error in the sort of planning there, because we saw an awful lot of situations where the players, the best in the world, were in effect faced with just an impossible shot, because nature and the way the game is played, and with links when there's always a wind about, it pushes the sand up the face, so there's a little sort of slope, upward slope into the face of the bunkers. That's what you would expect. When you just go straight into it's a vertical 90-degree slope with that revetted face. It makes it almost impossible. They changed that for the second round, third and fourth last year, having witnessed what they witnessed through the first round. I would expect that they don't head down that path again of that 90-degree steep face, and keep what we see here, just a nice little sort of upward slope towards the face.
Well, there are more than 70 out there on the links at Royal Troon. The bunkers must be avoided this week at all costs.
Yeah, the bunkers really are one-shot penalties. I am happy to introduce you to Wayne Riley. Wayne, you've been around the golf course?
Yes, I have. I was here, Simon, on Monday and Tuesday of last week. No, it was Tuesday and Wednesday of last week. And we did some drone shots, so you're going to see those. And yeah, I've looked at the whole golf course, and the rough is up, and I think it's going to be quite difficult. It's got some fire in its belly, and Troon is going to play like Royal Troon should. It's going to be a tough gig for the players.
You think the challenge is going to be off the tee, Wayne?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's also a second, the shot golf course is going to be very much where you miss the ball, typically Open Championship style. The greens are going to be running at a good pace. It was firm when I was out there, and it always plays firm, Royal Troon, and it's a wonderful venue, and here's a wonderful champion, qualified.
I know, I love that. That's what I think. Justin Rose for me is like really come into like his own. The way he sort of guided Bob McIntyre around the Ryder Cup, I thought that was very impressive in Marcus Simone. But at the level he is, to go to Burnham and Barrow and qualify and enter yourself and qualify means like that's where he rates the Open. And it also means, you know, he knows I got another shot at this. I was impressed by that.
Very much so. Well, he announced himself at an Open Championship at Birkdale back in, was it 96, 97, around there. And as an amateur, holed it from 60 yards short of the green over on the left-hand side. And dreams do come true. It doesn't seem that long ago, but he's gone on to win an Order of Merit, DP World Tour Order of Merit, got to world #1, a US Open champion. Some resume.
It is. Could he win an Open?
Yeah, absolutely he can. You look at someone of similar age. You look at Adam Scott, who played last week. He was unlucky to lose in the end. Adam, great win by McIntyre, sure. But yeah, he could win the Open.
So, Rose.
He'll need everything to go right to win the Open, one would think. But you get him on his day and he starts to get his backside in the air and a spring in his step. There's no reason why this guy can't kiss that claret jug come Sunday evening.
A very popular winner. So just going through his routine there. Also very precise, very deliberate, a very systematic player, Wayne.
Yeah, well, he won on the PGA Tour last year. He won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. And he's been a little quiet. And I sense that Justin Rose has something to prove. Sure, he hasn't anything to prove, but if you know where I'm coming from, he wants another sort of resurgence. He wants to get back up there where he knows he can be. With all those championships he's won all around the world, like everywhere. And he believes he isn't done, and I believe he isn't done. Works very hard on his fitness. Family moved back to the UK so the kids could go to school and all that. He travels a lot, but you know, I think he's swinging the club very well. His angles have always been very, fantastic, and always a hard worker, a seriously hard worker. Doesn't say much, gets on with it, and you know, he's one to look up to, especially what he's done with for the ladies with the Rose Series. He really is an English Rose.
I love that. Who's he talking to there? Someone's giving him some feedback. I can't see who that is. A mystery invisible coach. Oh no, Mark Blackburn in the Titleist hat is filming. Based in the US, British coach. Coaches Homer, Max Homer, coaching Rose. Very, very experienced coach. Keeps his players playing well. I like that.
What's so good about him then? What's he good at?
I think his pace of instruction is like, you know, you can be players typically are very ambitious. Like I can change that, don't worry about that. But you know, you want to change things very slowly. So the pace of change and keeping your players playing is really, really important. You could come in and sort of destroy someone for a couple of years. That's not good coaching.
No, a couple of years. Well, you'd think you'd find out that the coach isn't going too well.
Think of sort
before
of
a couple of years.
Faldo. Think of Faldo. Faldo had a couple of years where he couldn't hit the ball. I mean, it is, you know, the throw the book at me. I can't hit the ball. Throw the book at me is a really dangerous request from a player. You have to keep your players competitive and make the change at a sort of a gradual gradient, so that it's a slow but permanent improvement, not these sort of sudden changes of direction. So I think he manages the demand from the player very well.
I think what Faldo did, I don't think anyone else will ever be able to do what he did. Faldo went away about 86, 87, then came back, went to work with Ledbetter, and then he came back and won he won the French Open around Los Brises down there in the Marbella area, and where has he been? And then he won this championship, and then he just went on and to change. He used to have a lot of knee kink towards the front.
Yeah.
They almost collapsed the knees.
Yeah.
And with Faldo.
Yeah.
And to come back and change that swing was well, it was commendable, not only commendable, but brave, and he'd already won like a couple of PGAs at Wentworth, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, incredible what he did.
Yeah, interesting. Tiger Woods changed his swing massively, damaged his body and changed his swing. And huge changes, like almost like changing the way you walk.
He doesn't count. He's too good. He doesn't count, Tiger.
But I mean, it's amazing how he's managed his physical body. It's like we saw him today. He was really in trouble, Tiger. So, Rose, very precise, very deliberate, very focused.
I've always loved the arm hang, Simon.
Yeah, it's great. But you know what? There are certain guys who've got just amazing proportions. For me, he's like one of those. It's like you look at Tony Finau and you just think, massive long legs, arms, or like Tony Finau. There's a couple of them.
Adam.
Yeah, they're amazing, right? Amazing proportions. For me, he's one of these guys who's just amazing proportions. And so the swing looks so elegant. The set, that's like just boom. If you're at home, that's how you're supposed. Back nice and neutral, the bend is in the pelvis, the knees are just soft like little shock absorbers. You rotate back, you rotate through, you keep the angles, and that's it. There you go, Justin Rose just hitting a clip in a few wedges. Probably a 56, maybe 52. So we are going to head over, leave Justin Rose and join Henny, who's in the Sky Open Zone with one of our 12 amateurs. This was earlier this morning.
I'm happy to be joined by Callum Scott here in our Open Zone, the young amateur out of Texas Tech, playing in his very first Open Championship. Callum, so far, how have you found the overall experience of the Open?
Amazing. Yeah, it's been really cool experience. Just settling in today, arrived last night, so just getting my feet on the ground and trying to find where everything is. A bit of a maze out here, but no, it's been really good, and it's just really enjoying it. So.
Tell us a little bit about your college golf experience, because you're at Texas Tech, where Ludwig Aberg also went to. You played on the college golf team alongside him, know him and his game quite well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience over the last 3 years there.
Yeah, so I just finished my third year at Texas Tech, and obviously I was lucky enough to get 2 years with Ludwig, and obviously he's an unbelievable player, and to see what he's done just coming out of college, and now I think he's top 5 in the world, so it's really inspiring to see something like that, and a lot of the top guys in college coming through and competing against the top pros. So what Ludwig's done is just kind of inspired a lot of us coming through, the juniors and seniors in college, to kind of do what he's doing and know it's possible.
And knowing it's possible, because I bet that you've beaten him once or twice throughout your college career.
Yeah, I've let him know when I did, but it doesn't happen very often. But no, it's very nice when you can beat someone like that.
So it's going to be a challenge to follow in his footsteps. But now we're going to have you take on our 1, 2, 3 postage stamp challenge here today. You have 3 attempts to hit the postage stamp. Are you going to use wedges first? 9 to 6 iron first, or 5 iron up first?
I can use wedges first.
Wedges first, okay.
How far is it?
123 yards.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
No, you're fine. Yeah. I've been calling it the 1, 2, 3 challenge. I didn't explain that fully to you. Okay. So yes, there's our little postage stamp there. I'm curious to know which one you're going to find easier or harder out of wedges, mid irons, long irons.
Wedges for line are probably a little easier, but I guess for height, I think it'd be a little easier with the longer clubs.
Yeah.
This one, you've got to time it pretty well to hit that.
Hit it down.
Yeah.
What have you got?
I've got a 55 here.
Okay.
This is probably what I'd use. There's a little bit of help in the air as well.
Yeah.
So.
Is this a little 3/4 vibe?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. 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 We'll use this one first.
Right.
And what's next after this one? Is it?
Whatever you want. Either 9 to 6 iron or 5 iron up.
Okay.
Ooh, looking good.
Oh no.
Little short?
Just short,
Great for line though.
It was.
Okay,
right.
What are you going to choose next?
Is it 9 iron to 6 iron?
Yeah, 9 to 6 or 5 iron up is the 2 different categories. There's a lot of mental calculations happening right now.
Okay, I'm going to use an 8 just so I can have a little more control, because I think I'll use probably something a little more like so I can stinger it at it.
Okay.
See if I can hit it. But
I should imagine, being both Scottish and having practiced this week, you are an expert at the stinger.
Yeah, well, this one's, I guess I wouldn't probably use it downwind, but definitely when it's into wind, I've got that shot.
Got it in the bag.
Let's see.
Oh, come on, wind.
They're just a yard right.
You are so close.
Right, okay. This one.
Okay, 5-iron up. This is the one.
I'll use the 5-iron.
Fine.
I've got to hit it. Got to hit it.
Drill it straight in.
Use some speed. Once you not hit the guy in the buggy. No, I tugged it.
I feel like junior you saw the buggy there and just went like a homing pigeon.
My target changed. My target had changed.
All right, you can have one more go.
One more?
Yeah. Just because you've been so close.
Okay. Well, use any club this time.
Any club.
No, it'll be fun if I hit it with this thing, actually.
Okay, fine. Love it.
Let's see.
Okay, you've got a feel. This is the one.
Yeah.
Oh, homing pigeon.
I've hit him. That's my target. That's it.
It's the junior golfer in you that's going to both do that shot and enjoy your time out there at Royal Troon today. Callum, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Our young amateurs, Wayne Riley. Crucial part and a key part of the Open Championship.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, qualify to get in here, and these amateurs, we call them amateurs these days, but they are looked after like pros, and they come out of college or they're taught so very well how to swing the golf club. When they get out here and play with the big guys on the big championship stages, they are ready, and that's what we want. Our game is in good and safe hands, as far as I can see.
How about Nikolai Højgaard, Ryder Cupper? Briefly, very, very briefly, led the Open on the led the Masters on the last day. I was watching that game, was out there. Soren Hansen in the background. He was a Ryder Cupper. He was a flusher. Remember Soren Hansen?
Absolutely, yes. Ryder Cupper. I played a lot with Soren.
Todd Hamilton in the shorts in the background. Previous winner.
There's Todd.
Here.
What are the shoes?
Just cruising it.
Are you sure that's Todd Hamilton, or is it someone picking up the range balls?
That was former Open champion, former champion golfer of the year at this very scene, 2004? I think it is. So, anyway.
Wonderful player.
Yeah.
Played very well in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan. Remember the chipping club, that semi-hybrid thing that he had?
He loved it. He loved it in Japan.
He was the first man I ever saw use that. Here we go.
Good grip.
Standard, isn't it? Everything's standard.
Very Tiger Woods grip, that. Little strong. 3-knuckler.
Yeah.
3-knuckle on your left hand, everyone. 3 knuckles, look down on your left hand. I was taught 2, and through my career I always got a little weak.
Yeah.
I think 3 is the way to go. As long as you see 3 on that left hand, you're about bang on.
Yeah, it's just different.
Being a right-hander, of course.
Yeah. I think the way that ball spins now, you're getting people shallower and shallower. So squarer face earlier, hips release earlier. It's a different game. You used to have sort of like kind of stable body and active hands. Now you've got stable hands and active body. Look at the way the hips work. So we'll look how open those hips are at impact.
Athletic. Really good swing.
Really charming guys too, I've got to say, both of them. His brother Rasmus have done Denmark. Very, very proud. And Jacob Skafolason, who's our British amateur champion, you know, credited a little bit the sort of the impact of these two brothers, and I guess probably before Thomas Bjorn was out there, before Søren Hansen, flying the flag for Denmark.
Looks like he's just warming down now. Always a good thing to do. Just finish with your wedges, feel some, get some feel in your fingers. They won't work too hard today on Monday.
No.
They'll just sort of get used to the place and find out where everything is and find their favourite spots on the range and, you know, just tiptoe into the championship.
Did you like hitting wedges off this turf?
Oh, gee whiz. It's the best turf. Melbourne, you know, where I come from, well, I come from Sydney, but Melbourne has the greatest golf courses in Australia. But that turf's very good. But this, it cannot be beaten.
Yeah.
You know, the links of Ireland and Northern Ireland and Wales and England and Scotland, you know, this turf makes a different sound. It lies so, it sits down there so tightly, a lot of amateurs might go, oh, that's a bit tight, I'm going to fat this or I'm going to thin it. But for a professional golfer, it's thump and you can get the spin, you can release it, it's all good.
So we are live on the range, coming to the end of day one, preparation day one. We start on Thursday. Guys, I would say pretty much everyone here by now. Wayne Riley?
Yeah, just about.
Do you think Bob McIntyre, where's Bob McIntyre today? Where do you think he is?
Maybe taking a few aspirin. One would think. What a win that was. What a champion.
Pepto-Bismol. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Bob McIntyre, wherever you are. Some amazing performance. Here we go. So, 3-wood. Off the tee. There's going to be lots of those. You have to temper your aggression around the first 7 tee shots, Wayne. What apart from the par 3, so what do you think the challenge is getting that start going? I mean, you can bully the first 5 or 6 holes, but you take on a lot of risk.
It depends where the wind is coming from out there. I mean, I always believe that, you know, when you've got a par 4, forget the par 5, you just got to get up there if it's downwind and give it to it and try to get it down there as far as you possibly can to take on the par 5s. But the par 4s, links golf, when it's firm-ish, if you've got any help in the air, you play it conservatively and you ride that breeze to make sure you're on the fairways. And we all know that you have to stay out of these crazy little bunkers, wonderful little bunkers. But if you go in them out there, there's no clipping 8 irons out of them. It is just take your medicine and just get it out there and try to get it up for your 4 and not make another mistake and make a double. I believe on links golf, a 2-iron, the guys who have got a 2-iron, as a Tommy Fleetwood has, a Rory has now, right club to have in your bag.
Down the line with Nikolai Højgaard, Søren Hansen in the background. We have got a new technology. You've always got innovations, the RNA, with their partnerships. We can see all of the ball data of all of the players. Fascinating to see. Wayne Riley, look at that, 63 apex. I mean, he was really trying to power that down. That's a skill, isn't it? Changing, you know, the whole of the modern game in America, at least, is how high can you hit it. Now you come here, how low can you hit it?
Yeah, and look at the carry. This is an important club for me this week, as I was saying. The guys who carry a long iron, who won't be popping hybrids off the tee, the shorter hitters will kind of do that. But these guys, if they can flatten it down, the thing's just going to take off once it hits the deck.
It's interesting how the Americans have done so well around here. What do you put that down to?
I have no idea. I really have no clue here. I played the first 2 days here, I think it was 97, that Justin Leonard won. I played with him the first 2 days along with Paul Broadhurst, and we marvelled at how well he putted. And then he sort of didn't putt so well on Saturday, but went on to be the champion. But he putted the way you have to putt. Sure, he hit the ball well, but he was incredible. I think they come here sometimes when they putt on the PGA Tour and the greens are at 13. They come here and get used to the green pace as 11, and I think the ball looks, the hole looks as big as a bucket when they are quite slow. And they get last week they've practiced on them. They come here, and I think they find putting so much easier over here than when they have pace about them. That's the only thing I can put it down to, because wind and America doesn't really come together really, unless you're in Texas. Sure, they get a bit of wind, but not like wind that can happen here.
These are beautiful little shots. Look at that, just 64 apex, 250 carry, frozen ropes. Really, it's going to be so interesting to see what happens. So, somewhere on the driving range, we are going to see or hear from Di Stewart.
Yes. Thank you, Simon, and delighted to be joined on the range by 2 former champions, 2016 Open champion here at Royal Troon and 2004 Open champion Henrik Stenson, Todd Hamilton and Nicholas Colsaerts is joining the team for the next hour, which is super exciting. Gents, great to see you. You've flown in, you're here at the Open. My goodness, we've been waxing lyrical about your victory 8 years ago. 63 in the final round, just pluck that. It was absolutely brilliant. Do you dream about that score at night time?
No, but I'd like to do it again.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, no, obviously great memories coming back here. Looking forward to the week, and if we can bring a little bit of that we had in 16, we could have a fun week.
Who wrote to you? Someone pretty special, and said it was one of the greatest final rounds he'd ever watched?
Yeah, that was Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of talk, obviously, about the 2016 duel, and being compared is very humbling, and to get a handwritten note from Jack saying that he thought we played better is not anything less humbling. So that's fun to have in the trophy cabinet.
Great. So where is that letter? Have you framed the letter?
Yeah, it's in my trophy cabinet in Orlando. Yeah.
Todd, did you watch Henrik in 2016?
I actually played 2 rounds of that tournament and watched the rest on TV. That was pretty special duel they had going. I don't remember how far third place was back of you guys, but you guys were quite a far ways ahead. So
you certainly were. And Nick, you were watching that one?
I actually played in both of them.
You played,
I actually played in both of them. I didn't manage to do anywhere near as good as these 2 guys, but I can only imagine how special it would be to walk this ground again. I know it's 20 years ago, Todd, but this would be quite special, no?
it was pretty cool. I got on the postage stamp, and when the postage stamp looks long to you, you know you're in for a long week. So I'll be 59 in October, so I know they've added some distance to the course, and my 59-year-old body knows that extra yardage is going to be tough to overcome.
Yeah, but it's not about that. Well, it's about feeling those vibrations again
it is cool.
And walk these fairways, correct?
It's a lot of good memories. My son's caddying this week, so last time he was here, when I won, he was 6 years old, so it's 20 years, as you said. So nice to have him near, and hopefully he can bring me some good luck.
So have you gone as far as like Daddy did this here, Daddy did this there, and all that? Or?
I haven't, no. I don't know if he remembers much about it. As I said, he was 6. No, I'm not that type of guy, but I did tell him today that where I was hitting 3-wood off the tee, I used to hit a 4-iron. So you could tell that I'm worried about hitting the ball distance.
Todd, what's his name? Tyler. And is he a decent, we'll use that mic, is he a decent caddy?
Yeah, he's probably caddied 5 or 6 times for me. I've never done any good with him.
Okay, right.
He thinks it's because I don't listen.
Yeah, it must be. No? It must be. Clearly, it can't be the
case. Well, it's always difficult to have a family member on the bag, isn't it? You know, because if you want to have be in a bit of a mood, storming off to the green is hard.
He knows about golf, and he's a decent player. Yeah. He's not great, but he knows to get out of the way and where to stand.
Well, what an amazing experience for Tyler. This is brilliant.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And it was a playoff with Ernie Els in 2004. How were the nerves? How did you do that?
I felt good. I was playing very poorly leading up to that week, so I felt like I'd won anyway, just making the cut. So everything gained after the first 2 days was a bonus for me.
Yeah, I remember. Isn't it amazing? You felt like you weren't actually playing that well and you go on and win the Open Championship. Does that sometimes happen, Henry, when things aren't really clicking but you manage to get a score together?
I never put down a 63 when I don't feel like I'm playing poorly, but no, I mean, I had different vibes coming in here. I'd won in Germany, BMW International a couple of weeks prior, so I came in with good confidence and felt like everything was in good order. But that's interesting to hear that you didn't feel good when the week started.
I felt terrible. For me, it was like finding $20 in your dryer. You knew you had the money in your pocket somewhere, but you lost it in your pocket, and then when you went to open your dryer after cleaning your clothes, it was in there. That's kind of what it felt to me.
Do you know, this is brilliant, though, for all our viewers at home who go out and play their monthly medal or weekly medals or play every day and feeling pretty useless, and they can scramble a score together, and a major champion can do that as well. Nick, it's fab here. You played this course. What do you make of this track, and what advice can you give these two this week?
I mean, who am I to give advice to these two? I mean, come on, Di, what are you doing here? No, that's not nice. Mean. I mean, I'm pretty sure that these two guys can agree with me. Like, this is probably one of the fairest links golf courses that you have on the open rota. I think if you play well, you're always going to give yourself the chances. It always depends on the weather, as we all know. I mean, especially these two have played a lot more opens than I have, but you can be on the good end or the bad end of the draw. But you go out on this course and you have the first 6 holes that don't really look like much, and then when you get to around 6, 7, and then you do the loop and you come back in, it's one of the best open courses you can play on. I mean, these two have an amazing memory on it, but I mean, this is one of the really, really good open courses to play.
I second that opinion.
Yeah, and it's unpredictable, isn't it? Gents, thank you for your time. 2016, 2004, slightly further away than 2016. But
is that all? I wanted to hear more about how bad you felt when you won the Open.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
we can talk about that in a minute. So we will. We're going to wax lyrical. Thanks, gents. Thank you. Good luck this week. Back to comms. So tell us exactly how you did feel.
So 2 great champions there chatting to Di. Great to hear from them. And while the world's best men golfers are preparing to chase down the Claret Jug at Royal Troon, the best boys and girls players from around the world are competing just a few minutes away at Kilmarnock Barassi.
These kids are the future of golf. You'll likely find that there's going to be a major champion in this group. You'll likely find that there'll be a Hall of Fame golfer in this group. After playing the game for 40 years, a lot of it is about making the friendships and having fun, and the golf looks after us. Because I can guarantee you, there isn't a kid here who isn't working hard. They're all working harder than everybody around them. So the main thing they need to do is actually get balance and chill out a little bit and enjoy everything that's going with it.
The last time I was here was 2021 when I won the Women's British Amateur, so it's nice to be back to see some friendly faces, and I've had quite a lot of folk come up to me and say hi, how am I doing, and it's just a really nice club and it's a brilliant event for the Junior Open.
Welcome to the 2024 Junior Open.
I said to the kids here today, you're competing, but you're also making friends.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh my goodness.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
These are
Pino, a 28-year-old drug broke.
Didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong.
It was unbelievable. And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dream.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
I have a very special guest here in the Open Zone, Marcel Siem, not just for his recent victory at the Italian Open, but for the fact that it is his birthday today. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I did have a plan to sing, but I'm not going to embarrass myself live on TV. So,
Thank you very much.
Any birthday plans?
No, not really. It's such a big week. I think playing 9 holes this morning already was the best birthday present I was able to give myself, and I really enjoyed it. Take it easy, and I think with 44 years old, we don't need to party that much anymore. I'll do that in the week offs.
Yes, brilliant. Can relate. Sleeping, perhaps, tonight. A nice big sleep will be your present.
Yeah.
Let's go back to rewind to the Italian Open, your recent victory. How much did this mean to you? Where was this featuring in your victories that you've had so far in your professional career?
It was definitely it meant the biggest to me, actually, because last year playing India, winning India, coming back from Challenge Tour, getting the winners category back was massive. You know, it was a milestone in the right direction for me in a way. Then having the surgery and the injury, you know, I was really close to get my card for the PGA Tour last year, and then NetBank in Dubai, I was barely able to play, and so I had to do the surgery, and all of a sudden winning Italy so fast after the surgery was crazy, and yeah, all of a sudden confidence is back, and we're playing for a second win, a chance for a second win this year already, and it's amazing. And now I'm standing here and playing the Open again.
Yeah, how good does that feel to be back here? As you said, so fast, but back here right where you know that your game is.
Yeah. I mean, I finished 21st last year in the ranking, so I was planning for the Open, and that's why I did the surgery really quick. I said, okay, I need to be ready for the Open. That's the most important thing. So I put a lot of pressure on myself for this week now, for last week already as well, because I need to perform better in the bigger events, which I haven't done over the last few years. I had a lot of wins in top 5s and top 10s, but never in the big events. So, and this is, you know, if I want to be in the top 50 in the world or play on the PGA Tour, I have to compete against the best players in the world. And that's why I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I want to show to myself first and then to the rest of the world that I can do that.
Well, we know that you have it within you. We're looking forward to seeing your career progress and blossom still over the next however many years that you continue to compete. You have had a lot of challenges throughout your career so far, but perhaps nothing quite like this. The 1-2-3 Postage Stamp Challenge, modelled on the Postage Stamp, the iconic par 3 at 123 yards. You have 3 attempts by which to hit it, but perhaps this is the start of getting those victories on the big stages that you've been talking about.
All right, let's give it a go.
Yeah. Okay. Which category are you going to go for first? Wedges, mid-irons, or low irons?
I start with the mid-irons, and then I will hit a 2-iron, and then I go with my wedge with the perfect number. So
okay,
I'll start with the mid-irons is 6 to 9, you said?
6 to 9.
All right. No, I take a 9-iron.
Okay, 9-9.
That bunker lip is quite high for a low 2-iron.
Right. Ludwig has hit a 2-iron here, so just to ease your mind a little bit, it had a little, maybe sort of 2 feet of clearance.
Okay,
So I think you should be good.
All right, so 123 yards, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
Little 3/4, little...
Yeah, a little chippy 9-iron.
Nice.
Try to cut it in there a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go. Come on.
Here you
Come
are.
on.
Go on. 1. Nice. 1. You could get 3 out of 3 here.
Thank you very much.
He could be on track. Oh, let's have a replay. We're going to have another look at your
start.
first moment of glory. You are the first person to have got it on your first attempt. Beautiful. Boom.
Okay.
There's the connection. Right. Number 2. Let's go.
Let's hit a stinger 2-iron.
Yep. Love it.
I will draw that, I guess. Otherwise, it's going to climb.
Okay.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh!
It was so close. That would have been so good. Okay, we can still go for 2 of 3. This is the club for the number.
Yeah. So this is the perfect. Well, it goes 110. Feels like it's downwind.
Oh, let's see how close that was. Oh, that was a flyby. Okay.
It's okay.
Fine. We're moving on. We're focusing on this. What have you got?
So it's my gap wedge, which goes 112 meters, and it's 123 yards, right?
Yeah.
So it should be spot on.
Okay.
Perfect number. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Cut. Cut. Cut, 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 cut. It's short.
Oh, is it short?
Is it short?
Okay. Yes. No, we can see it.
You gave me the wrong yardage.
Yeah, no, it's 100% my fault. But it can't possibly be your fault as a player. No, I will take that off of you. A wonderful performance there. You did complete the 1, 2, 3 Postage Stamp Challenge. You got it. May that be the start of great things to come for you this week.
Thank you very much. It was fun. And yeah, let's hope for a good week. And let's have a great week, everyone. Huh? Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Marcel, what a brilliant story. That is the bird's eye view of the range here at Royal Troon. And we've got a very special guest by our plinths. Actually, can you see us if I put my hand in the air? Just about. Can you... Nicholas and Matthew, can you wave? The bottom of the screen. Oh, yeah. Nicholas Colsarts and Matthew Southgate are with me. I mean, it's television gold, really, isn't it? You can't beat. I'm still waving for no reason. Matthew Southgate, great to see you. How are you?
I'm very well.
Good,
yeah, a bit tired after the last few weeks, but the adrenaline will kick in at the Open Championship, so I'll be fine, I think.
Yeah, what kind of day does it kick in?
Probably about 15 minutes before you start on Thursday, normally for me, yeah. I just try and relax as much as possible, learn the golf course and just reserve as much energy as possible just in case something magic happens the first few days. You don't want to be completely flat come Sunday, so I'm not the fittest person in the world, so there'll be a lot of rest and recovery, really.
Well, you're not very fit. Why is that? You're not going in the gym every day? Nick goes in the gym 3
Let's not
times
get into
a day.
details. Leave him alone. Let's not get into details. So,
Okay.
Matt, you've always been quite vocal about, this tournament, but let's touch more onto the links aspect of this. What is the thing that really inspires you when you play links golf?
It's an interesting question, really. I just think it's more like an art form. I think when we play like Parkland golf course, it's just like target golf, and a lot of people just sort of play like they're still on a TrackMan, and it's quite one-dimensional. Whereas I feel like in links, there's always so many options. You have to be a bit more creative, and there's no right or wrong way of doing it. And I think also as well, like sometimes when it gets tough, like making par your own ways, there is a real art and a skill set to doing that, and it's really rewarding. Like I've always found it really rewarding when a hole is playing incredibly tough and you just find a way to maybe hit like a head 2-iron, scamper a 4-iron up to the green, have a really good 2-putt. Nothing that you did looked that great, but you know that you just scribbled down a great 4 on a scorecard where loads of people are writing a 5 and a 6. And I think that it's like the battle of doing those sort of things always sort of gets me going. I've always enjoyed that side of the link stuff.
And is that what you did in 2016? You finished tied 12th here at Royal Troon when you played. So you created some magic then.
I just think it was, you search through your skill set while you're over the shot, and you have to trust yourself that you're going to pick the right shot. And like I played with Alex Noren and Raf Cabrera-Bello, that I would consider both very, very good links players. I played with them on the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and some of the shots that we hit were so individual. Like we're aiming in the gorse and hitting big cuts, and aiming down, you're aiming in the rough and hooking it, and you have to hit all those different shots. And some holes, I mean, you play the holes so differently to each other, but you both make a really good par, and it's just how the individual sees those shots and having that sort of creativity.
Yeah. So from what you're saying now, it's like this is almost too calm to your liking.
This is, I think, well, I mean, I struggled last week at the Scottish Open with that, where it was so benign that it was like I'm trying to find that sort of creativity, but you don't need it. You can just hit the normal shots, and I mean, I just struggled to get going. And I think a lot of the time as well, like a lot of my better results at links courses are when it gets tough. It's not so much when it's easy. When it gets tough, that's when you start having to lean on the low shots and all the different shot shapes and learning the golf course and stuff. And that is just an art on its own, really.
And it's hard, isn't it, as well, because you've been out in practice today. How many holes did you play?
I played 9 today, yeah.
Okay, which, the front 9?
The back 9.
I was going to say the back 9, yes, which is imperative because it's so brutal. But the conditions are going to change. So Wednesday, Thursday, it's a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah, and you have to use your imagination with that. Everybody's out there looking at wind forecasts and what the weather's going to be like, and you try and imagine all those different scenarios. I mean, there's almost not a player in the field this week that will stand on that 18th on a Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday and not say to their caddy, right, let's make 4 to win the Open.
Yes.
It's like a dress rehearsal, and I certainly do, try to put yourself in those scenarios, play those holes, play 17 and 18 like it really, really matters, because it's going to, there's going to be, everybody in the field's going to have to get through 17 and 18 to make the cut, and then people on the weekend are going to be on moving day, not wanting to make mistakes, and those holes are crucial to the outcome of the championship at the end of the week.
Now, every hole is crucial here at Royal Troon, obviously, but I've got a general knowledge question for both of you. The postage stamp during Open Championship years gone by, how many holes in one have there been on the postage stamp?
I know Gene Sarazen's made one.
Yes.
I know Ernie Els has made one.
I was going to say, I know Ernie made one.
So how many have you got at home? How many?
That's 2.
Don't forget to tweet it out.
That's the only 2 I know.
Yeah, no, there was I remember as well, I don't want to be offensive to anybody, because anyone who's played in the Open's obviously a good player, but it was a very underestimated player that had one as well.
Yes.
And
I can't remember his name either, but I know it's 3.
You know it's 3.
It's definitely 3.
Wait, so we got 66%. We're good.
Oh, come on, high
we
five.
Pass.
Don't leave me hanging.
And we pass.
Also, the highest score on the postage stamp is
that is no laughing matter.
Double figures.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 10.
Of course.
Yes, it was a 10. Again, I'll get back to you, let you know who it was. We are actually having a look at the postage stamp now, and it's going to change from 123 yards to 99? It's ridiculous, isn't it? But 1950, I'm being told, Herman Tissier, do you remember him, Matthew?
No.
He got did he get a 10 or was it even higher? We may be able to check with Simon Holmes.
Father of Matt, maybe.
In fact, Simon Holmes, I think I'm incorrect, because I think I didn't go that far back,
guys.
Simon Holmes, who's in commentary.
Yeah,
was
1950. Yeah, 1950. Herman Tissier was a German amateur and he made a 15.
Matthew made a 15. He was a German amateur.
Did he play again afterwards, or?
Did he play again afterwards, Simon?
He was still out there. He never made it back in.
We're so supportive of Herman, aren't we?
That's such a long drive home as well, isn't it? Like, you think that long ago, how would he have got home? Like, there was no tunnel through the. There's no channel tunnel.
Ferry, probably
drinking
himself.
Ferry, rowing, but I reckon he's on a rowing boat. He could still be out there.
I'm going to carry on this chat because it's highly entertaining. But for now, the claret jug, it's been handed back. Brian Harmon's given it back. Let's get all the info about that. Thanks, gents.
The Open is so special because it's the oldest major. It's where the game started. Being a part of history and playing these golf courses that have been here for so long, for me, is really special. Final round was it's a blur. I felt like it was almost impossible. It's a mix of emotion. When I look back on it, it's like I want to feel those things again. Returning the claret jug is going to be tough. It's been a big part of everything we've had going on the last year. I've got quite an affinity for it. But certainly a hole will be left where this jug's been occupying. I love the golf here. I feel like it's the fairest, hardest test that we have as players, and I enjoy that the most. I've heard nothing but incredible things, and I haven't played in an Open Championship venue that I didn't enjoy, so I expect no less out of this place. How are you?
Hello, Brian. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Have you had fun?
I've had a good time.
So where's it been?
It's been everywhere. Football games, baseball games. It's been nice.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you as champion.
Thank you so much.
I still get pleasure watching you play last year, and it was an amazing performance, and we wish you absolute best for this week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm afraid that's it.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this
Firm has been sold.
What? To who?
Some multinational outfit.
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos.
Viv, what time are we expecting
twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, you know, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in the can.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Rufino, a 28-year-old
It didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong. It was unbelievable.
and he put up with a lot. That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dreamer.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Just ending day one, practice day one at the 152nd Open Championship. I am joined by Wayne Riley. Got a lot of guys out on the golf course just having a look. What are you looking for as a player? You know, go do 9 holes. What are you looking for? What are the key things you're trying to pick up?
Where not to go. You obviously know where to go, but it's where not to go in links golf. You know the wind's going to kick up. And there's a lot of people out there, more than I expected at this time of the evening. You know, Monday sort of, maybe there's a few guys there searching for something that they don't quite have yet. It's not a very nice place. I've been there. I've been on this range, actually. I remember back in the day I was working with Bob Torrance and I had nothing. I made the cut the week, but I just had nothing, and it was a left to right wind. That wind, that range there, the prevailing wind is out of the left, and I always found it so very awkward because it'd make you rehearse an over-the-top motion, but it's just the way it is. There's no wind out there today, but you know, once it does kick up, you'll see it coming out of the left-hand side. And I just had to move way up to the right-hand side there and hit more back into it if I could. But the wind direction, you know, it comes from everywhere, but predominantly that's where it comes from, out of this range. It's a great range. It's a great golf course. It's a great club. Royal Troon is a very special spot. It's, you know, throwing up some great champions, and it won't be any different this week. It's a tough old test, and as I said earlier, Simon, the rough she's juicy.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. So there are some big superstars, and our big talents have come across from the US. And earlier today, we had the big cat. He's here. Tiger Woods, post his 9-hole practice. There he is. Gary Woodland behind him. The loose hands of Tiger Woods. And I have to say, it looked pretty good to me, Wayne Riley.
It does. Yeah, it certainly does. It's just a matter of, it's going to be off the tee this week. Is going to be huge I mean, it looks like that swing there is with a 7 or an 8 iron. But there's good pace to it.
Yeah, he drove it well, though. If you were watching Pinehurst, he drove. I thought he did well at Pinehurst.
I watched him. I was there. That was just a hard golf course, man. That was just so difficult.
But didn't you think he looked pretty good?
Yeah, he looks great. But, you know, he's been away from tournament play for so very long with the injuries he's had and the back fusion back there. And then I didn't think he'd go and win the Masters as he did not so long ago. He won that, and I was just like, my mistake. But whether he can win once more, I'm not going to say he can't. But look, the probability of it is getting less and less. Geez, I hope I'm wrong, because he certainly is right up there as the best player in the world, along with the great Jack Nicklaus. To have him back would be sensational. It's great to have him back playing, striding the fairways of the world, although not very often. We don't get to see him very often with the ankle, but to have him at these majors and the Players and all these fine championships of the world is a privilege. Look at him. He's just an unbelievable golfer, just a very special guy. And on the range, I've had the privilege so many times. When I was playing, he's so relaxed on the range. He likes a joke, and but my word, just down on that first tee with him, you look in those eyes of his, you frighten the heck out of you.
Yeah, steel eyes. He is a gladiator, though, isn't he? Having a chat with Gary Woodland. Great victory for him at Pebble Beach in that US Open. Darren Ficart, I think that is, Darren Ficart in the rose-coloured shirt. So Tiger Woods, chest and arms working a little bit more as one unit, chest and hips trying to sort of keep the level, take the pressure out of the hips, out of the back. Look where he finishes, really that right side rotating forward, kind of keeps the height on that right hip, hips level at the finish. Hold there, see that right hip almost higher, pushed all the way through, that right shoulder much, much closer to the target than the left. So more rotary, less vertical. Here's his fireworks show. Rain just worked his way through a series of clubs. So this morning's work and this afternoon post round all accumulated together. It's quite a lot of balls for a Monday.
Yeah, it certainly is. That's a great sign. And for me, if Tiger is going to win another major, the Open Championship is the one I feel as though he has the best chance, because you've got a little pace. He's not the longest anymore, even though he's sending it out there, mid-40s. You know, he's still pumping it out there. But his creativeness and the way he can get around a golf course, I think his best chance now. A lot of people say Augusta. Well, that plays long now. They kind of mow the grass into you, and it's up and down
Tough
Dale.
walk, isn't it?
Hard on him, yeah. But I'm not saying he can't do it. He only did it 4 or 5 years ago. But, I mean, the Open, he can play it along the ground a lot more, use the wind, work it against it. And when it comes to creativeness, when it comes to genius, when it comes to tacking your way around a golf course, this guy is the daddy.
He is the daddy. The club looks set to me in a really nice balance. It doesn't look forced. In the past, there's been times where it looks forced, a bit contrived. You know, he's learnt so many different swings, hasn't he? So Tiger Woods always looks a bit ginger, doesn't it? Just a little bit slower than normal. Current scenes on the driving range, guys just working out a few final pieces. You think because it's such nice weather, they're thinking, okay, let me do as much work as I can today, maybe take a bit of time off later in the week as you sort of store up the energy for the competition.
Good point. You know, maybe they didn't play last week. Just keen to get here. It's the Open Championship. I mean, I remember my first Open Championship, 1984, Seve's year at St Andrews. And I got a brand new pair of golf shoes, just one. They gave us one brand new pair of golf shoes, and they last me for 2 years.
Love that. Well, this is a great place to have merchandise, mementos, the tent here is just absolutely amazing. And if you can't join us, scan that QR code, catch up with some of the merchandise. You want to be a part of it, get the look, especially the yellow umbrella. That, I have got one of those. That is a cool bit of kit. So, very, very big event, global, the brand, the Open Championship. Nothing quite like it in the game of golf, Wayne Riley.
No, it's the best. I mean, for me, it's the best major. It's the oldest, and it's played the truest form of the game. It's on links terrain, and the links that you have over here in this part of the world, whether it be Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, all around the UK, Scotland, England, they are the best, and it's so much fun to play them. And you know, I managed to play 10 of these, and
never forget them, right?
I never had a dull moment. I never did. Postage stamp here, 1 year. I played it in 9.
Okay, that's a fair effort. There it is. So which bunker did you go in?
For the week.
Oh, for the week.
Yeah. So you jumped the gun, didn't you?
You're amazing.
There
So let's leave the postage stamp and go and find Di Stewart.
We are. Thank you very much, Simon, and Wayne as well, for all your commentary today. We're nearly at the end of day one of Live at the Range. Nick, we were just talking about how players prepare for the Open Championship. We had Scotty Scheffler, he was up at Turnberry, played a round. Shane Lowry was at Hogshead in Ireland. Some players play the Scottish Open, some don't. I mean, it's a personal choice, isn't it?
Yes, it's basically, you know, players play around 25 to 30 tournaments a year.
Yeah.
The majors are always the tournaments that are highlighted on their calendar, and sometimes they want to have a week of rest before an event, and some, you know, like to experience, you know, links golf and the different kind of golf that this is. It's always good to hit shots in the wind, and because the wind is different on the coast. So yeah, it's a very personal thing to.
Did you play the week before a major?
Well, yeah, I didn't really have a choice. I mean, some years I had to go and try to qualify to the Scottish Open, and which is how I got into the Open in 2016 here.
Great.
But I totally understand people that want to not play the week before, and I also totally understand the people that want to mingle around and play those beautiful courses that there is on any coast in the UK.
Yeah, let's head over here, because just to remind everybody, Henrik Stenson was the last player to win here at Royal Troon, shooting that final round of 63. So impressive. Nick, thanks so much for your company. I know you walked the course today. We've only got 15 seconds. In one word, how would you describe Royal Troon?
In one word, no. In immaculate condition. In immaculate condition.
Immaculate. We love it. From all of us here at Live at the Range, we'll see you tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. is the time. Good evening.